Welcome to Off the Edge Podcast. It is 2021, the year of our Lord, your Lord, the Dark Lord, whatever Lord, Lord Bathory. No, that was a Madam. Or what is a Lady
What?
Lord? Countess?
What are you talking? Who? What?
Elizabeth Bathory?
I don't know, man. You got me on this.
Oh, no. She used to kill like slave girls and bathe in their blood.
Oh, it's one of those. Yeah.
Wow.
Reminds me of my childhood.
Am I the only one? Anyway.
No, this is the first episode of Off the Edge for 2021.
Season 2.
Season 2. We're back. And we have a very special guest with us today.
We do. The lovely.
The talented.
The extraordinary. Let's keep coming up with adjectives. Come on, back.
The sultry.
Too much. Too much.
Nyssa Garcia.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
Coming
for having me.
all the way from the Dallas area, right?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
In the house.
It was, what did you say, 60?
Yeah, I was like high 50s, low 60s.
Low 60s today.
Yeah.
We had a high of, 48? Something like that today?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Some
And-
scattered showers.
And super strong winds. It really
was
sucked.
very windy.
I work
Yeah.
outside all day, so it's not fun.
Oh.
I have a flat-sided van, so you can imagine how that goes. Whoa. So, to those who may not know, Nyssa is an incredible singer. Very, very talented. We've known each other for going on 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah. We met playing the local festival in Cherryville, Life Fest, and just kind of bonded there and have been in touch ever since.
Yep.
She's used me.
Abused? No, never.
Definitely used, but I don't know.
No. Like Matt said, about 5 years ago, I think it was one of those things. We first heard your band Awaiting Daylight, and like just right off the bat, it was just like, man, I love these people. It was like an instantaneous kind of gut reaction.
Well, and it's one of those things too, where you're at a local rock festival in a town of 2,500, or I think the latest census is probably like 2,000. Okay, and then she steps up to the mic and just what comes out of this little girl at that time, especially, and everybody's jaws just hit the floor. It's like, wow. And so I made it a point to follow her progress. May have done a few videos and some pictures along the way too, but
some pretty cool videos.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely fun.
It's very fun.
So Nyssa, what are you up to now?
So, Awaiting Daylight, unfortunately, is no more. My mom will get that pun. One of our songs is called No More, so just thought I'd use that. I am actually doing solo stuff now. I just finished a record with Edgewater Music Groups in Houston, and still waiting on when I'm going to release it. So that's pretty much what's been going on lately, at least.
Awesome.
Just kind of making steps towards kind of a different direction from Awaiting Daylight, but good directions.
Yeah,
Well,
I would definitely agree. We got kind of a sneak peek or Matt shared with me a sneak peek on a few of the tracks, and
He wanted some homework.
yeah, well, yeah,
He didn't want to come in here just blind.
yeah. Well, I wanted to have an impression of what the new stuff is kind of sounding like, and I listened to 4 songs, and they're all pretty. I mean, they're all you, but they're not like just the same song over and over.
Yeah.
They're each very unique in their own right, but cohesive. And right off the bat, I mean, you have a very characteristic, like your own character to your voice. I was sitting here listening to that, and every time I listen to you sing, I think, I can't think like there's not a person that you sound like. You just sound genuinely you.
Thank you.
And I love that.
Thank you.
Well, if we had her list off her influences, we'll be here till tomorrow. This girl has sang everything.
It's very, yeah. But I will say musical theater was like the one thing that I really started listening to, and I kind of picked up techniques from all of those kinds of singers, and then like I don't know, it helped me with going to other genres and saying, oh, I like that technique, I'm gonna use it, or I like that technique, I'm gonna use it, but use it with this kind of genre or whatever. So I just like to listen to everything and use techniques from everybody, because I just think it's so cool, and I think that's why it might sound a little not like anyone else.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and what's fun about her saying that is, I've never really thought about vocals, but she's taking vocals the way I would think about guitar. Throwing in some little chicken picking, country lick in the middle of a metal song, or just a funky riff, and mixing it up, and here she is doing it vocally.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm sitting here trying to describe like my reaction to hearing your new songs.
Do we need to start doing reaction videos?
Maybe we do. Maybe I need to get
the thing.
I need to get better at it though, because I feel like I'm just saying generic shit. But it's like I genuinely mean this. It's like one, it's really hard to pin you down. Like I said, to say like, oh, well, she sounds like this person, sounds like that person. You don't. You sound very unique, and I think that's a great thing. And also, it's your emotion really does come out through the songs. It's the songs all feel very intimate. I really like the mix of the songs because your voice is very out front. And it sounds like you're right there in the room with me, like singing in my ear, like right there,
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm at a loss for words, kind of. But I just feel like it's very unique and in such a great way.
Thank you.
So.
Well, out of those 4 songs, they're all very, very strong vocally. But then with like 2 cases, that song, there's a real vulnerability.
Yeah.
And you feel it when you sing it, and it's a beautiful song.
That was, I will say these songs, not that Awaiting Daylight didn't have any like personal attachment whenever I was writing them, because Fool, for example, was a very personal song and very emotional for me. But these last 5 that I wrote were just like, I knew that they were for something else other than Awaiting Daylight. And not that I was thinking, solo stuff, but that I just, like, I set them aside for something else. And all of those songs have like a deeper personal attachment to me. So I think that's kind of where the emotion came in, so to speak.
Right. I guess I'm trying to say it doesn't feel like it's forced. It doesn't feel like I feel like a lot of new music right now, it's just kind of like formula. It's just following a formula, and it's kind of fake, but I don't get that at all from your music. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
No,
really nice.
I love it.
No, it feels good. Good. It's my first solo stuff. I'm like,
well, and what I just took out of that was 5 songs, and I've only heard 4.
Yeah, there's 5.
There's 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll have to send you the
mystery
last
song. What's the mystery song?
Yeah.
I'll have to send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, it was kind of weird because like we did one song in late 2019, and then the rest of these we did this year, or 2020. And I wanted to release the one that we did in 2019 so bad.
Well, yeah.
In 2020.
Waiting a whole year.
Yeah. I've just been like sitting on it. Like, okay, I have this really cool song that I've just been wanting to share with everybody, and I can't share it. So it's, that's been a little frustrating. But when all 5 are together, it just sounds like complete almost. And that's kind of hard to do with an EP. I mean, 5 songs isn't a lot to some people. You want a full length album.
Yeah. I think if you're trying to, I don't know. I don't think you should put a limit. or a maximum.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to tell kind of a story.
Right.
I mean, the songs don't have to be directly connected to kind of carry a theme through it. And sometimes it might be easier to do that with a handful of songs, and then instead of trying to do some dumb shit like we are, and construct an old man's masterpiece, type thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you have your idea and follow it out until you've reached the natural conclusion. And if that's 5 songs, then that's 5 songs, and those songs are going to be great. And if you try to stretch it out to 8 songs or something, then maybe those other 3 are just kind of not what they need to be,
The filler. It's kind of a substance, not necessarily substance over style, but substance over quantity.
Absolutely.
Right. Quality over quantity.
I'm a big believer in that, for sure. Yeah.
So then, are you working with a group to kind of coordinate a release, or?
We're still in the process of it. It just kind of depends on the timing of everything. Because of COVID, things have just halted when it came to the music industry, and that's across the board. So no shows. People aren't even taking on new artists right now because it's just so difficult to push people out that are up and coming.
Right.
Because they can't promote themselves at shows and things like that. So hopefully as time goes on, there's a little bit more opportunity. But as of now, we are working together a little bit to say okay, well, maybe ballpark this time. But at the same time, we're not sure because we don't know what the future is going to look like in 3, 4, 5 months. So
I think in with the state of things the way they are, I think you should approach things as a single by single by single,
right? Yeah,
and then end with it in a collection, or the album.
Yeah.
I mean, it just that keeps you relevant.
Absolutely.
Instead of having a big gap. One of the things that we learned is that when you release something on Spotify, you have a very narrow window for that to be promoted as something new. And if you're to release them all at once, then one of them, whatever is targeted as your single, would end up being the only one that has that opportunity. So, trickle them out, even if it's, every other week or every 2 weeks, new single. But also, take advantage of what modern technology has to offer. And it's not just releasing a single. You're releasing a single and you're releasing a video with it, and you're releasing, even if it's just a visualizer, different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Just so it can cross as many platforms as possible.
Yeah. We're just living in different times. So it's kind of we all have to figure out, okay, which way do we go? How do we do this?
Right.
But I've seen more artists doing that single by single and, putting videos and visualizers out there rather than just here's a full album in your face.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because with the full album, you're able to tell a story. Probably the worst thing that ever happened was Random with the CD player.
Yeah.
I mean, that really was the first death of an album as an experience, and I'm totally guilty of it. You listen to the album a couple times and then it's okay, let's mix it up, type of thing. And then, then it became, you got your MP3 player with, 2,000, 4,000 songs on it, and you hit shuffle, and you may never get 2 songs from the same artist back to back for 3 hours.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it is different, and it is unfortunate. There'll always be those purists that like to experience experience them as a whole.
That's-
Yeah, that's me. I'm in that camp for sure.
Kind of getting back into that with buying vinyls and stuff like that.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, and that's one of our big goals. We're going to be on vinyl, by God.
Heck yeah.
even if
Definitely.
even if it's just for us,
Yeah.
Although it's way more cost effective if we just buy a shit ton of them and then try and sell them.
Give them out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, that's a big goal.
Yes.
But we're trying to decide on all the songs that we're gonna put together, and Quentin is our hype man. That's what he does
for sure.
He's the one that comes in here. I want this on the next album. I want this. And
I can see that.
yeah,
For sure.
And so one of his directives for this album was 13 songs. Well, I don't know if we're gonna hit 13 or not. 13 is kind of a special number in our family. So,
Okay.
but I found an article on what it takes to actually make vinyls and why some vinyls are longer than others, why some vinyls are quieter than others, different stuff like that. So the longer it is, generally the quieter it is, because the louder it is, the deeper the grooves are cut. Deeper and wider the grooves are cut. So in order,
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, there's some trade-offs in order to fit
in
all
order
the
to get
songs
more
on
time,
there. Yeah.
in order to get more time.
So I didn't realize the physical limitations before reading that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you think, well, I can just turn up the record player. It's not that big a deal. Yeah. The thing is the dust and the stuff on the scratch,
Yep.
because you're raising the volume, your noise floor is higher.
Right.
And
Wow.
so it's just little things
yeah,
like, and so
that's
it's
crazy.
like, we've got a couple songs that are hitting around 8 minutes. I'm not sure. We're going to have to do a double album.
Yeah. Double. They don't do double-sided, but they do the.
Well, they are two-sided.
Well, wait. Wait, they have vinyls that are side A and side B?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
cassette
yeah.
tapes?
Yeah, they've always been that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all of the ones that I get are like, there's two separate ones. But I don't have very many vinyls, so
Well,
that's
then
just
I
the
think
problem.
I think you need to go home and flip it over, and
Oh my gosh.
it'll be like, wow.
I have like a whole other side to like, oh, this music. Oh my gosh.
I have twice as much as I thought.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm dumb
I'll
sometimes.
give you a tutorial.
No. We all grew up in the digital age, man.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, I've been trying to get back into I remember listening to cassette tapes, like my mom giving me a Bon Jovi cassette tape, and
Yeah.
I would have to
Yeah.
get out my little tape player or whatever and listen
little
to it.
Walkman. Man.
The best thing
That
was
was the best
having
thing.
that sound design boom box in your bedroom, and you had the pink and yellow and blue Memorex blank tapes, and you throw them in there, and you tune into your favorite radio station, and you wait for your song and hit record.
See,
And
I've only
that's how
heard of
you
that
get-
happening. I've never done that.
Oh, I was all about that.
And then you would cuss and cuss and cuss when the DJ talked over your song. Because they take those instrumental
Yes.
breaks at the beginning and the end. They start talking over the song. You're like, oh, shut up.
I hate it when they do
The
that.
struggle was real,
I'm sure. That sounds like a struggle.
especially in this area, because
Oh.
getting rock music, especially heavier rock,
Yeah.
was damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
What musicians were you working with on these new songs?
They were a couple studio musicians. One of them, his name is John. He is actually one of the partners in Edgewater Music Group. So he's crazy at guitar. He's amazing. Did a lot of really cool, weird things with the guitar, which I'm especially Too Late for Sorry. All of that chaotic stuff at the end. That was
Right.
That was his idea, and kind of was like, "Are you okay with this?" And I was like, "Yeah, the weird stuff is cool, dude. Just go for it, you know."
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be so weird where it won't be played on the radio. So that's kind of there's a very, very fine line between those two. And
Well, that's where they
then-
talk over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's-
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jerks.
And then other couple studio musicians. I've worked with them on the other song, and they're really nice. They're really sweet guys. They have a lot of experience in their instruments. So it's cool to like meet other musicians that are not from your area, because not that I know, but I have met a lot of musicians in my area, and you can kind of tell what kind of personality they have as soon as you meet them. Whereas going to a different city, it's different. It's like, oh, this is nice. This is a breath of fresh air.
Right.
So, yeah, very sweet guys. I trusted them with all these songs. I don't think people realize how I write music is like melody first, lyrics first, and then instruments come afterwards. So I write music a cappella, and then I will fit instrumentals.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I didn't know that you did it that way at all.
Yeah, and I had a vision of what I wanted for each song, and so like going to these guys and being like, okay, listen, so all of it's a cappella, but this is what I want. I want this right here and this right here and da-da-da. And they were just so nice, and they understood, and they were like, okay, we got it.
Did you get to now I want a guitar solo here, and I want it to be like
I wasn't like no, I wasn't doing any of that. But I did have a bit of a say in, like, I want it to be a little like this in a guitar solo, or I want the guitar solo here because there's really nothing there or whatever. I'm not going to take full credit for the thing because I wasn't the one playing those instruments, and they had a lot of creative, they were able to be creative with it as well. But I just had like a clear path of like, okay, so this is what the song's about. This is where I want it to go. Do what you will. Just make sure it ends here. Right. And then they were able to do it.
You didn't crack the whip too hard.
No. I'm a huge, okay, when I was...
So you didn't go all Matt on them.
No.
Oh yeah. I'm a whip cracker.
No, not at all. I am a huge believer in musicians having their own creative minds, their own creative ability, especially even studio musicians, because I know that studio musicians especially, they do, get whipped.
Well, but the thing is they're also probably the most disciplined musicians that you're going to deal with.
Yes.
Ever.
Right.
So that's why I have a lot of trust in them.
Absolutely.
It's not, a 16 or 17-year-old that's playing guitar. This is a man who's played guitar for 30 plus years and knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm kind of like, all right, go for it. I just know what it's like to have, no creative outlet at all whatsoever, but still play an instrument or sing or whatever. And it's not fun. It takes away the passion in what you do. So that's kind of why I was like, as long as they get the path right, where I want the song to end, then we're good.
Sure.
So, they were really good guys, cool guys.
I agree. They did a really good job just listening to the finished product.
And I think what sent you was not mastered yet, right?
No, it was not mastered.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there's still a little spit and polish to go on them.
Oh,
but
right.
They sound good.
They sound really good.
I just got the masters like this week. So I don't like listening to myself or my songs. It's just weird. So I'll listen to them once and be like, all right, in a drawer, never to be heard again. Just leave them be.
I'm kind of that way with my own stuff too.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm not that way until I put the vocals on it. When it's the music, man, I'm listening to the music all day long. It's like,
yeah.
Wow, I did that. Cool. Yeah. Sure, it took 5 takes and I chopped it all up, but hey, it's cool. No. But yeah, then the vocals on there, because I don't know. I think part of the reason we need to get somebody to crack the whip, is because there'll be times where I'll be like, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And then
need someone to be like, no, you can do it better.
Or you can just, you listen to it later. It's like, damn, one more take,
Oh yes.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's probably why I don't like to listen. I'll nitpick everything to death until I just feel like I'm never doing this again. Yes. I'm horrible. I'm a piece of dirt. Yeah. I can really psych myself out.
And I think part of it too is listening to the demos over and over again. Because, the demos, it's like, oh, well, I messed up there. But that doesn't matter because I'm going to fix that when we do the real recording.
Right.
So it's like, oh, but that part, Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can cut myself some slack on demos. But
real thing.
So while working on all of your solo stuff, you've still been out and about singing? Occasionally, at least.
Occasionally, yeah. Again, because of Corona or COVID. Basically, I'm in a wedding band full time. And this was my first year being in a wedding band. So it was a fun experience.
Break you right in.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
This is the worst it can ever be.
Yeah, exactly. Which is still it was pretty good, and especially like later on in the year, but it was still so difficult. And I mean, we took what we can get and whatever, it's fine. I just hope 2021 is better. But I that's kind of where I also get a little bit of like my practice is the wedding band, because I just sing. I mean, we sing everything. We sing like 50s and pop and rock sometimes, and rock, and not like the rock that we all know and love, but like rock that's like Journey, that they think is heavy metal. And I'm like, okay, that's not even, but okay, whatever. It's fine.
It's still awesome though.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I love Journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Journey. It's just not heavy metal. And that's what like a lot of these people think. It's just funny to me. I just think it's hilarious. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I love doing it. It's super fun. It's cool to see like people really happy getting married and being like, that's cool.
Hey, they pay.
That's true. Yes, they do. And they pay very well and very nicely. So I'm not complaining.
Well, and that, I guess that was probably a good way to break you in 2020, because if it was like just a normal year, you'd probably be exhausted by this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'd probably been every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Usually it is. We do like 1 or 2 gigs a weekend. Even when I was subbing, which I first came on as a sub for the original lead vocalist, and then she left and moved on to do other things. And then I came in as full-time. So even when I was subbing with them, we had like 1 month where she couldn't perform. And I think it was like April, which is a pretty big month for weddings. And it was like 2 or 3 shows a weekend. It was very exhausting. And then I was working a full-time job in downtown Dallas. So I drove an hour to and from, it was like, at that point I was like, I just need sleep. Like, is that a possibility? So, yeah, I mean, if COVID didn't happen, then I would definitely be exhausted. But usually January is the month to like recover from the last 4 months. October and December, insane.
Well, and I can testify that she's not a vocalist in a vocalist meme. She actually carries stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Other than her mic. Yeah. She's a helper.
Yes. I try. As much as I can.
One of the funniest memes I saw after the whole debacle with the protesters like breaking into the
Capitol,
the Capitol building. Yeah. The guy carrying away a podium and smiling, and it's like this, every singer at the gig carrying their mic stand while everyone else is loading up. Right. It's like, yeah.
I wish I was like that. I can't.
That's like a Marilyn Manson style mic stand, big old freaking podium. So. Do you still do musician song call?
Not anymore because of the COVID.
Because of
COVID.
Yeah.
And
did they just stop it?
Yeah, they basically said like because of COVID, we can't have anybody coming in, we can't have anybody coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it'll be their kid, like the kids, and then like one parent. Not even both.
So
parents.
What is this?
Yeah. Let people know what it is.
Okay, so Musicians on Call is a nonprofit organization where musicians can submit like a little recording of themselves, and then they can go off into hospitals, which I think it's like Nashville, New York, Georgia, I think is one of them, Texas, hospitals all around for children. And then you go bedside and you just sing to different kids who have like, serious illnesses, who are there long term. That was really that was an experience for sure. Like a good experience. It's just sometimes it makes it hard to see kids in that kind of environment, and having to deal with those kinds of things that I am blessed to say I've never had to deal with something like that at that young of an age. So yeah, it's one of my favorite things I've ever done as a singer ever. So yeah, I was sad when they sent the email and they were like, yeah, so we've had to suspend for a bit, but hopefully we can get back. So once
maybe when it comes back, you can say, check out my new single.
Right? I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a couple on there I could sing, but yeah. Yeah. I'm sad it stopped for a bit, but looking forward to the future.
But the kind of the heart behind the musicians on call is kind of what brought you to our area in the first place.
Yes, it
you
is.
Came up for that particular Life Fest that was for Logan Cochran.
Yes, little Logan.
Yeah, that we've all stayed in touch with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And he's a little firecracker.
Yeah.
He's got himself a little brother now.
Yes.
That is almost as big as him. I got to see Ashley not too long ago. She had done a pet portrait for Tracy and Zach.
Oh, okay.
They'd lost 2 dogs this past year, and so Ashley does amazing pet portraits.
She does, yeah.
Yeah, and so we had her do both of those, and so I've gotten to see her twice this year. They've managed to avoid COVID so far, at least.
Really?
Which is a big deal. To the people that don't know, I'm not going to try and say what exactly Logan has. He has a heart valve defect.
Yeah.
And has had multiple open heart surgeries. He is going to be 6 this year. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And so, obviously, getting something like COVID would be devastating for him.
Yeah.
Right.
But so far, so good. Same with my house. I've managed to avoid it so far. I don't know how I go everywhere. I do mask up more often than not nowadays, though. So
yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a conspiracy theory that I got it, but you don't know for sure. I had all the symptoms and I kept getting negative tests, but I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I have it. The only thing is that all the tests that I were getting were rapid. So that could have been that could have been it.
But, train of thought.
Logan.
But no, it was back to the COVID. People in your camp have run into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But everybody's recovered okay?
Yeah. Actually, yes. I've had a couple people, I've had other family members who have unfortunately passed away from it.
Really?
Yeah, one of our cousins, he had gotten it and then like a couple days later he passed away all of a sudden.
Wow.
He was like in his late 50s, early 60s, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So it was just very, it was really sad. It was like, oh gosh, I mean, I've never had anyone near me or close to me that has, gotten really sick with it. Everything that we've had were just extremely mild symptoms, but having someone pass away from it that I knew, I was like, whoa, okay. Ooh, this is really.
The reality just kind of hit,
Yeah. You only hear stories about it. And then it's kind of like, I don't know. It gets close to you and then you're like, oh gosh, all right.
Yeah.
This is.
I mean, I've heard several stories, because, Brooke has lost patients. But again, it's not anybody directly related to it, anybody that we know.
Yeah.
And so there's that disconnect. And I think that's a big part of the problem. Is that if you're able to disconnect yourself from it, then it's not that big a deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've said from the beginning, if people were bleeding from their eyes, this whole thing would have been different.
Oh yeah. If it was more of like a physical thing happening, totally. Yeah. Things would be 100% different.
It was like the feared Ebola outbreak from a few years ago. It would have been a lot different.
Way different.
But the flip side of that is we know what our shortcomings are. I mean, we were totally unprepared.
We were fighting over toilet paper.
Right.
That's how unprepared we were. I mean,
it's so funny. I bought mine 2 weeks before that, and I had it up to for whatever reason. Colby went and got it. So for Colby's going to go buy the biggest package of toilet paper possible.
Yep.
When it comes out, and I think we had it into July.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was,
y'all lucked out.
It
sure.
was never an issue. Nope.
It wasn't an issue for us either.
Yeah.
It was just, but it was one of those things like, okay, I think I gotta go get toilet paper now. We only have like 7 rolls left.
Right.
Oh gosh, what are we gonna do?
Only 7 rolls.
How long are we
gonna plan ahead?
Yeah. Oh gosh. But I have people who talk me down from my moments. So that's good.
Well, and then it was funny too. When that first started, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like somebody was like, "Well, yeah, the whole reason that there's a toilet paper shortage is all the toilet paper's made in China, and with that,
oh my goodness.
we're not gonna get it coming in." And,
I hadn't heard that one.
well, yeah, but at the time I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's weird to see the crazy things that people obsess over in difficult times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and even in good times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's probably the worst thing about the internet.
Oh yeah. It
And
makes
I don't
everything way worse.
I don't think anybody foresaw that.
Yeah.
I think this is an informational tool, and then just they made it social, and then it became
Just the internet in general is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, social networks are the biggest problem, and I think they're the biggest reason for the decline in media credibility. But at the same time, I use it every day.
Oh yeah.
It's hard not to.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. I've got a business or I've got a band.
Yes.
I use it for promoting.
Yeah. Oh, it's changed the way that everyone does business.
Yes.
And like even your small town brick and mortar store, if they don't have an online presence, they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you didn't know this. We just found out today, or I found out today, our governor here in Kansas is trying to push through a tax on streaming services, unlike Netflix and
Why?
money.
Money.
The rationale or the way they're trying to spin it is that somehow it's going to help, your neighborhood businesses. And it's like, I don't see how that's going to do it. I think,
Are the neighborhood businesses collecting the tax?
yeah. Like,
What's going on here?
It's pretty convoluted. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. Like, everyone's hurting right now. The government's actually handing out money.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of it.
They're not.
Not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna tax something that basically hurts.
It hurts a lot of people.
Yeah. People that.
Yeah.
I guess you could just give up all your Netflix or whatever. But
that's so crazy, though.
Then you're stuck avoiding COVID with no money at home. And nothing to do.
I don't see why it's happening here, why it's happening with our government. I could see it from at the national level because of cable companies, satellite companies, and all the FCC fees and stuff like that they collect, which then falls back on us, obviously. Trying to get a piece of the streaming, in the same way that they do with other telecom. But yeah, I don't. It's just got to be. Yeah, let's get some money.
Yeah, I think so.
A little cash grab. Everybody's got it. Let's just
and
throw a little extra on
that's
there.
That's gonna make on top of obviously the pandemic, but it's gonna make mental illnesses worsen in a way, because if you're taking something like that away from people that they can't afford, you know, I mean, that's a little like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just,
like,
it's another hardship to go through. It's another stressful thing.
I mean, I see Netflix as like an escape almost of like the real world. Like, I just want to sit down and watch like a really, really cheesy romantic movie every now and then. No, I mean, I usually watch scary movies, like gory movies. So, watching a romantic movie every now and then is, you know, a stretch. But, you know, people are very similar in that they just like to escape from the real world for a bit. And Netflix is that realm that they can go to for that. It's just, it's very sad.
Well, and it's funny because so for decades, people had bitched, and I worked for cable, so that's why I know firsthand. But people had bitched and bitched and bitched. It's like, well, I got 300 or 500 channels, and there's nothing on here to watch, you know. And my bill is $150 a month, and yada yada yada. I should just be able to pick what I want, you know. And so that's what they called a la carte. And so now basically you do have a la carte, because you can get Netflix, you can get Prime, you can get Shudder, you can get, you know, all these. But man, it's going to cost me all this money to get all these. Well, quit your bitching. You want it a la carte. That's what you get.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the thing with cable and Dish and stuff like that, not doing a la carte. They could bundle these channels, and they would get kickbacks from those channels that kind of pays for everything, you know, whether people are watching it or not, you know. And so it was going to cost more for them to switch to an a la carte model. Well, now they pretty much have to compete. But, you know, I don't know what they're doing now because I don't get cable. I just got exclusively streaming.
Me too.
They still get me for internet because it's the only option. I tried, you know, because I got laid off from there, and so that was a bitter pill to swallow.
Sure.
Of course, that was 11 years ago, so I'm over it. I should hope.
Oh, are you sure? I was laid off from them. I'm over it now, I
swear. So, you know, immediately it was like, nope. And my only other option was AT&T, and so I had that for a few years, and it just sucked.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, yeah. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, download speeds were good enough for streaming, different stuff like that. But when I really noticed it is when I really started doing the video stuff, and I would have to upload to YouTube. And, you know, at that time we were doing the festival stuff. And so I'm uploading like 3-4 hours, and it would take 2 days. And the thing is I got to looking, and AT&T never listed their upload speed.
Oh, yeah.
Their upload speeds were like 500 megabytes a second. I was like, it got to the point where I was just taking a thumb drive, going to one of the places I worked that I had access to their Wi-Fi for work, and I'd upload it there.
Yeah.
Well.
And so then it got to the point where it's like, okay, this is ridiculous. You know, we gotta bite the bullet. We're going back to Cox. So, and I've had a few complaints, but they've usually been resolved. Nice thing is I know people there still, so I'll pull some strings.
You know people.
Yeah, I know people.
Yeah.
But man, I think we need to keep the internet like as free as possible.
Absolutely.
You know,
totally.
It is.
I think more and more it should be treated almost like a public good. And, you know.
Yep.
That's my lefty side coming out.
You know that, and it's funny because you call it a lefty side, but like it's the right side that's screaming and hollering because they're being cut off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
And that's capitalism 101. You know, those are privately
exactly.
even if they're publicly traded companies, it doesn't matter. They're a company. They're not the government.
It's the private sector. Yeah. And that's the right wing argument. It's like those are private businesses, and they
But then it blows up in their face.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know. And I'm just in the middle. I just want my internet. I just want to do what I want to do.
Right.
You know, I don't want to hurt anybody. Don't want anybody hurting me.
Yeah.
You know, purple.
Yeah.
That's what red and blue is. Purple.
I just, we already pay sale taxes now on all of our online purchases where we didn't originally have to, but we have to now.
Yeah.
And now if they tax streaming services and, they shut down the net neutrality every time it comes up, so, just like,
yeah.
It's like the last free, open, kind of
last frontier.
Last frontier.
Yeah.
It's getting slowly.
I guess we need to Wild West that bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have y'all seen Social Dilemma?
No.
Yeah.
I have heard about it.
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Netflix.
No.
I heard it was pretty eye-opening.
It's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep in the second half of it, and it was still very eye-opening to me. I just watched the first half. I fall asleep at everything, so no surprise there. But it was very eye-opening in how the social media groups keep you on social media. And I think that's where, like, I have a 15-year-old sister, a 13-year-old brother, and a 10-year-old brother, and all of them are just addicted to their phones. And I think that's also a big problem.
Yeah,
with where we are right now. It just shouldn't be like that. But they know you better than you know you. It's like, that's really, it's really
scary.
weird.
And that's why I haven't watched it yet, because I'm already really freaked out about all this stuff.
No, yeah, like you think of, like, whenever you're sitting at home, like in bed, and you're just thinking, like, late at night, it's really, like, it's scary to think about. But then, like, seeing something like The Social Dilemma, where it, like, they really, and these are people, these aren't like, your scientists or whatever. I mean, there are a couple of those in the documentary, but these are people who have actually worked at these social media groups and have said, I wish I never was a part of it. It's just very, like, bone chilling almost. It makes you just not want to be on the internet.
Well, I mean, it honestly, it's the going back to your brothers and your sister. It's the natural evolution of kids being raised by TV in the 80s and the 90s. The biggest problem is now it's so much more invasive because they can track your habits,
Yes.
Whereas the worst you had back in the 80s was the Nielsen ratings, and that was just, you had to have a box for them to even get that information. And now it's just fed to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if Skynet was real, he's not going to bomb us. He's just going to market us to death.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
It's a brave new world.
Actually, okay, so no. 80s, it was TV for 80s kids. 90s, it was consoles. It was game consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's really, but it's smart devices now for this generation.
Yeah, it's freaky to see, like, especially in younger kids.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you should not watch the phone for like an hour. Just go play outside for a little bit. See how that helps.
The worst part is in 20 years, we're going to have so many blind people. I mean, can't see, but they're not going to be able to see past, like, me to you.
Right.
Beyond that, their eyes are going to be ruined. And I can vouch for that firsthand. My eyes are getting ruined.
I wear glasses for a reason.
Well, and I've discovered that just having a bigger screen does not make it better.
No, it doesn't.
I have 20/20 vision. I can't.
Yeah.
Relate.
It's funny. I do too.
Do you really?
I do. I haven't been in a year. So I should probably go again. But it was funny because the main reason I went is when I was doing the guitar pedals a lot, building the guitar pedals. I'm really close, and there'd be these periodic times where I'd be working real close, and my eyes would just go real fast, Ooh. And so I had it checked, and she was like, "You got 20/20." She goes, "What you're experiencing is eye fatigue. It is going to go at some point." But you're straining, your eyes are working extra hard to see the stuff up front. They can still do it, but it's a little muscle spasm because they're working so hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so she was like, the best thing you can do is just go get like some +1 readers. And, anytime you're working on stuff up close, then you wear those. Well, it's such a pain in the ass to carry them and take them out and do it, because if I just have them on, then everything is blurry and, it's like a bubble. It's weird. But it's just, I thought the problem was I was having trouble seeing stuff further away. Because I'd be on my phone or something like that and look up at the TV, and it would take a while for it to come back into focus. And it was because it was working so hard to see stuff up close. Wow. But I am starting to notice that stuff further away is harder to make out. It's, I think my limit is here, but apparently it's like here now, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so, but I broke my last pair of readers. So I actually picked up some new readers today because.
Good for you.
Well, I'm going to be looking at a little screen tomorrow.
Sorry.
And focus is really important. Yeah. So I throw the readers on, and so you're not looking up, and my eyes are going.
That would be crazy. That's like the Exorcist stuff going on there. Just like Steve Buscemi and what is it? One Adam Sandler movie. Him and Kevin James and Chris Rock. And the new one?
An older one. But there were
Grown-Ups.
Grown-Ups, yeah.
Grown-Ups,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the one that he had? No, it was Mr. Deeds, wasn't it?
That's one I'm not. I've watched that.
There was
but
one of them,
so
and Steve Buscemi has these eyes, and they're both looking either way,
Yeah.
I love Steve Buscemi.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Pink for life. So
what I'm interested to know for these new songs. Was there any kind of strong musical influence or inspiration kind of behind that stuff, or
kind of yes, not really. It's a good kind of saying for that, because
kind of yes, not really.
Yeah, kind of yes, not really, because there were but I would say the only thing was that I liked bits and pieces of certain songs, and then I would go in and be like, that's kind of cool, I kind of want to like mix it up a little bit. I remember I showed my one of my friends all the songs, and he was like, this is so weird. He's like, you have like a country twang almost a little bit in some of the songs, but you sound like Ariana Grande at the same time. So it's like, I want you to sing a Miranda Lambert song, but as Ariana Grande. I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. Thank you for saying I sounded like her, but that's not happening. So that's kind of what I wanted. Kind of like what you said earlier. I just wanted to sound different than what's out there right now.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because music just kind of goes in cycles,
right.
People sound very similar to others. And I wanted to try as much as possible to not be put in that box or in any box,
Right.
So for instance, one of the songs, I'm the Problem, was inspired by Miley Cyrus's Mother's Daughter, which is, it doesn't sound anything like that at all.
No, it doesn't.
But I liked the way that she portrayed herself in that song, in saying no one's going to tell me what to do. No one's going to, do this or whatever. And that's kind of similar to what I'm the Problem is. It's a little bit more of a sarcastic song, but that was just kind of where I wanted to go with
so
it.
It's kind of like you, that Miley Cyrus song, you kind of got a feel, a feeling out of that song that you wanted to
kind of touch
express in your own kind of way.
Yeah. And I think that I did that. It was just in a very different sort of she's over here and I'm way over here.
Right.
But that's what I wanted. I didn't want to do exactly what she did, because then what's the point of?
Oh yeah.
What's the point of that? I mean, just go do covers all day, every day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of how I saw it.
It's weird, because I was saying, I'm listening to these things, I'm walking around with earphones in, jamming to your songs, and I'm like, man, this, there's two bands that kind of came to mind when I'm listening to this, and they're probably bands that you don't even care about or listen to. I don't even know. Okay. They don't even sound like anything that you're doing, but it was like we're saying like a feel kind of thing. All right. Counting Crows.
Okay.
All right. Your music does not sound anything like Counting Crows, right? At all. But like I was saying, the intimacy and the storytelling and the character of your character of your voice doesn't sound anything like his, but it's unique. Like if I hear your voice, I know it's you, and if I hear Adam Duritz, like I know I know it's him. Yeah. So it's like that same kind of quality, that feeling, that authenticity.
Yeah.
I made that kind of connection, and I'm sitting here like. It makes sense, but it really doesn't make sense to me.
No, it does.
And then another one is like early Incubus.
I really like Incubus.
Dude, and the only reason I say this is sometimes the melodies that you choose.
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah,
I can kind of see it.
The music's totally different.
Yes.
Except for there's a couple songs kind of got the funky kind of guitar, clean guitar.
Yeah.
Just need somebody in there to.
Right. But some of the melody lines that you choose, I'm just like, oh, that was kind of unexpected, you know? And I get kind of an early Incubus feel from the melody line.
I can see that, that's kind of like, that. It's weird whenever you sing or you start writing songs a cappella, because it's like, I focus, every single song that I listen to, I do care about lyrics to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. But it's mainly melodies for me. That is where I am at. I do like instrumentals. If you have a good song with a good melody, with good lyrics and really good instruments, like that's great. Like that's A+. But I focus a lot on the melody, because the melody brings people in. It brings people in emotionally. It brings people in like to want to listen to more. So that's kind of what I focus on more.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I mean, like I said, there's some little, I don't even know how to describe it really, but like you'll end on a note that's like kind of a blue note sometimes. I'm just like, I was not expecting the phrase to end up there. Yeah. And I was like, and that's exciting, you know, because it kind of leaves you going like, whoa.
Yeah, it brings a little bit more emotion to the mix.
Also, all the background vocals.
Oh, yes.
Super good.
Thank you.
Not only the harmonies, I'm guessing that's you overdubbing harmony to your own voice, but that's great. But then also all the like oohs and ahs and stuff that's going on in the background.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
Adds a whole lot to
it. Especially in Awaiting Daylight, I was like really into background vocals. I was like, I just want to do like layers upon layers upon layers. And I remember like doing demos and stuff, like really going in and having like 15 to 16 tracks of just harmonies on this one word. And I just remember them all, like Justin and Travis and Tyler were just like, dude, really like that much for that one note. And I'm like, yeah, it brings something to the table, you know?
Yeah.
But Pierce the Veil was a huge inspiration for me when I was like 15, 16, 17 even. Because the lead singer, Vic, was extremely heavy on background vocals, but he made it sound so cool. It's almost like you're in like a weird trance. Like if you listen to it with your eyes closed in like a dark room, like I just see like colors just flying around because there's just so much going on. So it's just kind of, I wasn't high. I've never done drugs ever in my life. That's how like I see songs. It's just like my eyes are closed and I just see colors, and that's how I.
Well, you don't need to be high.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
I love it.
You just circumvent a whole lot of money and work.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
My daughter is 15 and she has synesthesia. So if you know what that is, like she kind of gets other sensory stuff like translated into a visual sensation. Yeah. So she does that. She'll describe people as colors. She'll be like, oh, that person has kind of a purple color, to me that means like this. This is the kind of feel I get off that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's weird.
I didn't realize I did that with songs until Awaiting Daylight, and we were all kind of going back and forth and saying like, what color do you see Fool as? And I was like, just black. Just, it's angry. We're just gonna say it's black, whatever. But then I started doing it with like songs that I just listened to, and like most of the time I see like red, orange, yellow every now and then with like some of the poppier songs, but then I listen to like any heavy metal song and it's just like purple and black and like gray. It's just very, I don't know. I like just kind of yes, like a bruise on my heart. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's cool though.
Yeah,
that she has that.
It's interesting. Yeah,
I'm sure it's interesting conversations.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is that person purple?
Yeah, no, I know. There'll be sometimes where just someone we've never seen before in our life walks by, like, that person's gray. She's like, let's get out of here.
Oh, wow.
It was like,
so she basically she's seeing auras.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I would describe it that way, but yeah, probably.
I mean, it'd be interesting to take notes on what she's what she says one person is or something like that.
Yeah, and
then God knows there's a book on auras out there, and just kind of
that's scary.
Do a little research and then go back. And I mean, it would be interesting to say, is it are auras like mood rings? I mean, is this gray person carry gray every day, or does
it's just the mood that they're in.
They wake up blue,
right?
Yeah, be kind of cool.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
We need to do some research.
I know.
I'm gonna go home and do it now. That's so cool. Right.
We'll have her on the podcast.
Yes.
We can figure it all out.
That's so cool. Are you kidding? That's so awesome.
I think she's got a wonderful musical ear too. I mean, I haven't had a chance to let her listen to your stuff. I want to get her take on it. I think she'll really dig it. She's becoming more and more of a musician, but she's really always from a very young age been so visual, and been able to draw. Yeah. I'd like to give her a shot at like trying to let her listen to our songs and pick up an album cover.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Just to see what she would do.
Yeah.
But another person I want to get on the podcast, I've said, is my friend Corey Crawford Hine, who is a fine artist and a graphic artist, and he's super talented. I was showing him some of just her sketches, and it's like, she's never had any training. What do you think? She's like, she's better than I was when I was her age. Like, I was like, whoa,
aww,
cool.
That's so
Anyways,
cool.
I'm going off on tangents.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. She's 15, so you're like, man, you're good. You start getting her into that stuff like that. 16 rolls around, she's like, I
don't really want to do that anymore. Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Now, this might be a little bit of a weird question, but does she believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
She does?
Yep.
Okay.
She swears that my great Aunt Jerry, who she didn't know, but probably met once or twice, if anything, when she was a baby, she swears that she comes and visits her.
What?
like,
oh my gosh.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a true ghost experience.
No.
Either that, like maybe I've had a couple, and then like Travis and Justin will be like, shut up, you're annoying. Like that was not real.
You did have the feeling at the Katie.
Yes.
Yeah, you went into that room, you came back out, and you weren't ever going in it again.
No, I wasn't. Yeah. Well, it was weird. Like I walked in and just like a weird feeling overtook my whole body, and I just like stood there for a second, and I stared out the window, and like I kind of like got back, and then I walked out, and I was like, never going in there again, because I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Well, you said that if you couldn't breathe.
No.
It was like a compression on
like I can't breathe. What's happening? Like it was weird. And then like, of course, the first person I see, I saw you and Brooke standing there. You were like, are you okay? And I was like, I think so. I don't know. And then Travis was next to me, and it's so funny because Travis is very like pessimistic on everything. Like if you know the guy, you'd know that. Like he is just like, whatever. And he was like, you're just making it up. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's real. And he's like, no. And then I told Justin about it, and Justin was like, I don't know. But I've only heard ghost stories. I've never experienced one. Other than that, that's the only other thing. Like, I don't want to say it's a ghost, but it could have been. But I don't know.
Right.
It's just the weird thing.
I've only experienced a cold spot, which, who knows? It's not a very exciting story, but I mean, it was a legitimate cold spot in the middle of summer in a car that the air conditioning did not work. And we're driving out of a place that supposedly, is haunted. La Haunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driving out of there, all of a sudden it started blowing cold air. And it blew cold air for about 15 feet, and then it was hot again.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Were you near a cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're supposed to hold your breath when you pass cemeteries.
No. Well.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, because, this is...
So you don't get
stupid.
possessed or something?
Like the souls don't go in you or something.
Oh.
That's what my dad always told me.
Well, see, the fun thing about that cemetery out there, and of course you can't get to it anymore. You probably could, but
if you really
it's
wanted
technically private property at this point. It was an old cement factory.
Oh.
And a worker had actually been buried in the cement. It was an accident.
Like alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, but there's an old cemetery out there because it was an old township called La Haunt. And, we get the Strange Days guys on here again. They can give you the real lowdown.
Yeah.
But there's an old cemetery out there. And growing up, there's supposedly a witch's grave out there. And, you walked around it counterclockwise like 7 times. You die the next day type of thing.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so.
I don't mess with that.
Yeah. Well, and it was, it was wild because everything's overgrown out there, but they keep the cemetery mowed. And that when I was, at that time it was probably 15. And so it didn't really strike me that somebody would come out there and mow it. So it was kind of like, why is grass so good? Why is it cut? Somebody mowed it,
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, hit a cold spot.
You said your dad tells you to hold your breath so the souls don't enter.
Yeah.
Weird thing. My dad, when I was really little, I remember him. I guess I was picking my nose because I was a little kid, and he told me not if I did that, it was gonna. The flies would see that I was pointing up my nose, and they would try to fly up my nose. And so,
wow.
It made me stop picking my nose, I guess, But then I like, it's one of those things where, it's like you're a little kid and your parents tell you that and you believe it,
Yeah.
And I remember as a grown man remembering that, and I was like going, he was messing with me. Like,
yes.
That's like I believed that,
You just have this moment where you're like,
oh, wait.
Dad is full of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
How old were you when you realized? Like 21, 22?
Probably
last
later
week.
than that. Yeah, it was just the other day.
He said it to my youngest daughter.
I was picking my nose, and
that's funny. Yeah, no, my dad says a lot of stuff. He's very funny. I remember I was really young, and he has this thing I guess it's big in Mexico, and it's called the cucuy, and it's just like a scary monster. And every single time I would not go to sleep or I'd want to stay up, he would always say, the cucuy is going to come get you. The cucuy is going to come get you. And I'm always like, okay. And even to this day, I don't know if I want to do that to my future kids because it really traumatized me. Anytime he would say it, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to sleep. Going to sleep now.
Well, and I'm not trying to make it a weird racial thing. It might be because, I speak English. I only speak English my entire life, And when somebody starts dropping something on you in a foreign language, you know what I mean? It's just intensifies.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that would be frightening, but it was like if somebody just dropped something in German.
Oh yeah.
That would be really frightening.
It's like the scariest word in German.
Anything in German is pretty frightening.
Yeah.
It's efficient and it's frightening.
Is it efficient though? They have words that are so crazy long.
Yeah, well, I mean, they rattle them off just fine. So.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
There's a show on Netflix. I think it's called Veronica. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like that French show.
Was it French? I thought it was.
I think it's French.
I thought it was Spanish.
Maybe it was. I don't remember. But it was like, well, I don't know if that's the name of it, but it's like this.
Yeah, it was Veronica.
Was it? Yeah. And then but was it was a TV show, right? Or was it a movie? Because I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
Then it's a French TV show, and it's like this creepy old grandma, just like, and it's hard to watch sometimes because it's like, it's just so creepy. Like it crawls under your skin. And I watch so many horror movies, like nothing gets me anymore, but that show got me. I was like, okay, I'm done. I am done with this show. Like I didn't even finish it because I was like, I don't know. I'll have to get the name of it, but
I want to check it out.
French.
It's creepy.
Right.
Yeah, it's in French, and it made everything a little bit more creepier. It's like, oh.
Well, and the thing about French is that if you take French dark, it's scary, but it's also seductive.
It's a little romantic.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, French is very romantic, but when you put it in a horror movie.
Spanish can be that way too.
Yeah.
German, not so much. German's just
German's very.
Yeah. German is the one quote unquote romance language that doesn't really sound like it should be.
What other.
Like a sadist language.
Yeah. What other like languages sound like that? Like are as scary as?
Russian.
Oh,
yeah,
totally. Yeah.
Any Eastern European, really. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that one.
What do they speak in Poland?
Polish.
Is it Polish?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is Polish, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think there's some Russian. I think there's some German. There's probably some Austrian, which Austrian is really close to German. It's kind of like the difference between Portuguese and Spanish.
Right.
It's kind of what Austrian and German is.
Right.
Listen to me rattle this off like I know.
Yeah.
Let me clarify. I don't know shit. So
let's get our geography lesson on.
I took 2 semesters of Spanish and I can't remember shit other than asking where the beer is.
I'm right there with you.
I took 2 semesters of French. Why did I take French? No freaking clue.
I had French when I was 13, and
it would have been so much more practical to learn some Spanish living in America.
But even then, Spanish is hard to remember. Like unless you're practicing every day.
Yeah.
It's so hard to remember.
The problem is English is the shitty language.
But it's so second nature.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the thing is we say that the Spanish and French and Portuguese and all, they all do things backwards. Well, we're the ones doing things backwards because they're right there's 3 languages that do it the same way.
Right.
So,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
If you were coming into English as a second language, I think you'd not necessarily be stronger in English, but you'd probably have a stronger grasp of a whole bunch of other languages. Like say Spanish, Portuguese, French. They all kind of that was kind of a thing going into Spanish after having junior high French. Wasn't fancy, but the way things were laid out were very similar.
Right.
It's just kind of different words. Wow, how did we get to language?
I don't know.
How did we get to language? Oh, I said the kukui.
Yeah.
It all gets brought back to the kukui every time.
And the kukui.
Kukui.
Go home and have nightmares.
Yeah. No, I'm
just gonna have nightmares seeing Joe saying that.
Yeah, and then he would even knock. He would go like, it's the kukui. Go to sleep. And I'm like, okay. I'll go to sleep, I promise.
Next time we're down there, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, say the kukui.
I'm like, say it.
But you know what's funny is that he never did that with any of the other kids. Yeah. It was only me.
Yeah. Well.
So he was I was the only tortured one. Yeah. And it was really sad. I was like, Dad, they have to get some of the torture. Like, I can't just be me.
Really? Yeah.
They do. They have to.
Absolutely. I mean,
everyone gets their fair share.
Especially boys.
I know.
They need to be scared to death.
Yeah. No, I try They're not.
I try
dropping the ball, Joe.
I try to do that sometimes with my youngest daughter's 2.5.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, 2 and 15.
Yeah. big gap there. But
yeah.
He doesn't sleep much.
Well,
but
he's like, well, that's true.
yeah, that's true. So I'll try to be like, oh, the monsters, there's monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but she just plays off me. She goes like, yeah, let's go get the monsters. Monsters roar.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Or she'll ask, what do they look like? What kind of, do they have fangs? Do they have horns on their head? What color are they?
That's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now everything's why?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh God.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
That is the worst.
The other day she was like, I need to go poop in the potty, because she's learning how to do that,
Yeah.
And it's just like, I need to go poop on the monsters and the crocodiles in the toilet. I'm like, they're in the toilet. Oh my God, the monsters in the toilet. I'm like, okay, you're scaring
Bombs away.
You're scaring me. I'm trying to scare you. You're scaring me.
That's great.
I have crazy. Sometimes I wonder if they were dreams, but it seems like memories. I have a memory of going to Kmart. So there was Kmart here in town. Long time. I mean, I was little. I mean, old enough that I could go to the bathroom by myself, but just old enough,
Yeah.
Nowadays, I was probably too young to go to the bathroom myself.
Yeah.
It's just a different time then. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was like a broken toilet out of some of the stalls, and the vaguest memory is something about that just scared the crap out of me. And he wasn't actually my cousin, so he was like my cousin's cousin. Okay.
Sorry. You were scared of it.
He was your meta cousin.
Toilet?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So anyway, he comes in after I go back out, and for some reason I remember thinking that he got sucked into that toilet.
Oh.
And so that was the scary part. I don't know. It was weird.
That had to be a dream.
It was weird. Yeah. Another crazy memory, and I don't know for sure. So I had my aunt, if I remember right, and again, I'm little. I think she did a stint where she cleaned a church, did cleaning in a church, and she used to babysit me.
Okay.
So, and I actually think it's this one down here, the big Gothic looking one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we love goth looking churches, though.
Yes.
Those are so cool.
But when you're a little kid, and you have these big, long, and I'd have to go back in there, and I'm sure it's been remodeled over the years, but, and I probably should just ask her if she ever cleaned that church. Anyway, I don't know. There was just something oppressive about that, and it sticks with me, and it almost feels like Holloway scenes from like I'm mashing up Holloway scenes from The Shining with this, but it's not. It's like I can't describe the carpet, but it was like if I could see the carpet, I'd know it type of thing.
Oh,
I don't know.
Interesting.
So maybe I have had some other things, but those are just random memories that are like.
Maybe it was like a past life.
Well, now we're getting somewhere.
Your cousin got sucked into a toilet.
I've kind of had this multiverse theory over the last few months.
Oh, we're getting into theories now.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
So I don't remember my dreams, like ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one a year at most. Most of the time, it's like one every 5-6 years, something like that. That I'll recall even having a dream. Mm-hmm. I just go to bed, I wake up. That's it. But I had a handful of dreams that were.
I think you're a robot.
Yeah, it could be.
Someone's just hitting your off switch.
Yeah, probably.
Could be.
3PO.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, and Brooke thinks so, except I apparently have a charging motor when I'm asleep.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Pisses her off a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till we go on tour and try to sleep.
What are you talking about? I'll be driving the whole damn time. So.
Yeah.
I'll sleep during the day, I guess. I probably won't sleep. It'll be 9 days, and we'll get back, and he's like, okay, he's dead now.
All right, that's it. Called it.
Anyway, some super vivid dreams, and I remember having some very vivid dreams throughout the years, just small details and stuff like that. Nothing grandiose like, playing Wembley Stadium or anything cool like that, but some of them get really, really dark. But I almost wonder if it's like this is a glimpse into another me.
Yeah.
In the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because it's not like me dreaming I'm a child. It's like me dreaming me just in these other and maybe that's why I don't remember the other dreams, because they're just mundane.
Yeah.
And these just stand out because they're so freaking extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, one was a car accident where a truck that had a bunch of rebar loaded in the back of it was in front of me, and it was like coming up from Nowata right before it goes to the split.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like that little curve, and there's that house there, and there's mailbox on the street. And for whatever reason, the truck in front of me, somebody was walking to the mailbox, but somebody blew out of that driveway and just ran over that person. I mean, just boom. I mean, it was like the bus scene in Final Destination when she said bam,
yes.
You know what I mean? And so the physics of it aren't right. I guess they could be. But it was like the truck in front of me slammed its brakes, obviously. I slammed my brakes, but then the rebar comes back, shoots through the engine block, goes through my thigh into the back, and then that's the last part of it. I remember. Well, no, it was. I ended up driving. It was a struggle to drive back to Coffeyville because I'm trying to get to the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to stay conscious. And that's
in
all
your
I can,
dream. Yeah.
In the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about making a horror movie of all
Always.
these dreams?
Oh, well, not necessarily with the dreams, but I'm always thinking about making a horror movie.
I mean, you can make a good horror movie with those dreams. Just do
that'd
like
be cool.
little blocks of.
We were really close to making a horror movie
music video
for the greeter. That guy.
Oh.
That's one thing that COVID killed for us.
Right.
Yeah. Because that was going to happen. Yep.
I mean, it can still happen.
It could. We could revisit it.
Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where I'm like, well, let's just flesh the whole thing out into a feature. Make it a film.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That'd be cool.
But I want to know, all right, what's the craziest dream that you can remember having?
That you're willing to share.
That you're willing to share.
I'm willing to share all of them. I don't have like crazy dreams either. I think that one of them that really freaked me out, it was actually the week, I think it was like it was the night before. No, that's what it was. It was the night before I went on a church retreat. First time I ever did something like that ever in my life. And I just like, that entire week was just like, it was the hardest week for me because like things were just not going right like at all that whole week. And then like I had a flat tire the night before. I mean, just like a bunch of just like, people would call it just coincidences, right? I don't think that. I think like, there was something trying to stop me from going on that retreat. But the night before, I went to sleep at like 11:30, I think. And I had to wake up at 6. So I tried really hard to just like go to sleep. I finally fell asleep at around like 1 or 2. And I just remember like being in a weird room, and I was myself. Like I didn't see myself. Like I was first person. I was me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like in a room, and there's a chair in front of me, and there's just like, everything was black. And then it was just like these 2 eyes that were just staring at me. And it was just like really dark sounding Gregorian chants were going on, almost like really slowed down, it just sounded so creepy. And then like I started feeling like a bunch of bugs all over me. Like it was just it was really, really, really disturbing. And I remember like waking up and being like, oh, I don't know if I want to go now. Like, oh my gosh. I've never had anything else like that afterwards, but it really freaked me out.
That description is probably the basis of my favorite kind of horror, where it's just subtle, but it's so it's ominous.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That tends to happen with my dreams. It's just like so like, I don't know, like I've had 2 of those dreams ever in my life, and that was one of them. The other one was very similar, except it was like a black figure was just like watching me, and I was in a white room. So it was even weirder. But the only other time that I can think of like a really scary nightmare is like if someone's like like chasing us around with a gun, trying to kill us, you know? Or the ones where like your teeth fall out, or like you're picking out your teeth and they fall out, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have my teeth in my hands.
I guess that's really common. I've never had a dream where my teeth, I've had problems with my
teeth. It's very common. It's very common. I mean, you're lucky to not have those dreams, because that one's really scary. Because I think it's real. So like in the moment I start crying and I'm bleeding all over the place, and I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, like, we're good.
But, you know, there are some dreams that I've had that I don't remember at all, except for that feeling when I wake up. You know, where it's like, it's, as Eminem put it, snap back to reality. Yeah. You know, but. Sorry. But yeah, I can't remember what happened, but apparently it was pretty shitty. So.
Yeah, enough to make you like wake up thinking like, okay, well, yeah, that's hard. It's hard. I don't usually remember my dreams either, but those two were like the big like. Okay.
I usually don't either. I guess we're all just kind of.
I guess we're boring people.
Yeah. Well, I think a big part of it. For not remembering my dreams, and I think I say this all the time,
because you're living the dream.
Oh yeah. I think I'm so over caffeinated, or and over sugared, and because those are my two biggest vices.
Yeah.
I don't think my body shuts down,
but not really.
I don't think I ever really rest enough. Yeah. To fully dream.
Yeah.
You know, apparently, I mean, it's like when I don't get much sleep, but like I'm super, super productive with doing music stuff or video stuff like that. But eventually it all comes to a head, and then it's like, boom, I'm out for a day and a half. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's it. That's when the dreams creep in, is when I just completely crash.
Right.
Don't intake caffeine. Just stop.
I know.
Just stop.
I've done it several times.
Have you really?
Yeah, it just pulls me right back in.
Oh, I know. I'm right there with you.
Well, I mean, I would not be surprised if, as an infant, I had a tit in one hand and I had a Mountain Dew in the other. I mean, seriously, I've been on soda for as long as I can remember.
That's the hardest thing to kick.
Yeah.
I will say. Yeah. I went 5 years without soda, and then recently, I started drinking ginger ale again, which is not good.
No, but it's better.
I mean, it's not like there's no caffeine in it, so at least I can say that. But like justifying 70 grams of sugar in a bottle of soda is really hard.
That's it too. I don't think it's so much the caffeine that pulls me in. It's the sugar.
That's my.
I love sugar.
Yes. My big downfall too.
I love sugar, and I love the carbonation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because juice doesn't cut it. It's okay, but it doesn't deliver.
Yes, that's my problem. Yeah,
I like the carbonation. I like the sugar.
I have
the caffeine
is
just a bonus.
The seltzer waters are like, people are just like, oh, just swap your sodas with the seltzer water, and I'm like, well, obviously you haven't tasted soda, because it doesn't taste like a seltzer water.
It'll be fine if I put a cup of sugar in it.
Yeah, like. Just, throw them back. Yeah,
mix that up with some Kool-Aid.
Yeah, no. It's hard. Sugar and caffeine, especially, like both of those even combined, are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, if I could just get to where, vodka and soda and lime was the thing I could drink all day long, then
go for it.
Maybe I could train myself into, because then I wouldn't care so much.
Probably not the best thing when you got to drive around all day for your job.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if your tolerance is high enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. Let's do it.
I mean,
you talked me into it.
You refuse the breathalyzer, demand a field sobriety test.
Yep.
Yeah, and you just,
as long as your coordination's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got away with that one time.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Had to do the only time I had to do the sobriety test thing.
Have you seen that video where it's fake, obviously, but it's the state trooper telling him like, okay, you're going to do 1-2 step, 1-2 and she's dancing, and then the guy has to imitate that. Have you ever seen that? Oh, it's so funny. It's so, and then she's like, spin, kick or whatever. And so then he'll go spin, spin, kick. And then he'll do like hip, bump, or step, hip, step, hip, hip, or whatever. And then the guy has to, it's really funny. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah, I'll be going to jail.
It's like, I just can't dance. I'm sorry.
Can you do YMCA? Come on. I know that one.
It's like, this is the only move I have is this thing.
I can do the arm worm.
I went one full week. It sounds so bad, but I went one full week with no sugar.
Oh my God.
No, it was really, really hard.
Yeah, no.
We watched, I think it's called The Truth About Sugar.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, yeah, it was really eye-opening. And then after that, I always do it with myself. That's what happened when I became vegan. I watched a couple documentaries and then I was like, all right, that's it. No more. And then same thing with sugar. I said, okay, that's it. No more. No sugar ever again. It's killing us. It's killing our minds, whatever. And so I went a full week without it, but I could not eat anything because there's always added sugars. And I wanted Teddy Grahams. I just wanted Teddy Grahams. I wanted graham crackers. I couldn't eat those because they had 15 grams of added sugar. Couldn't have anything with high fructose corn syrup, like nothing.
Yeah. The best thing you can do, and I have done it, and I've been off of sugar for a long time. I lost like 50 some pounds a long time ago. And then found it. I found those and I found some extra to go with it since. But substitute all the sugar that you normally like. You know, I would sugar in my cereal. You know, obviously if it was like Captain Crunch, it doesn't need it. But you know, we'd buy Raisin Bran or
I love Captain Crunch.
God, yeah.
I could eat that
Crunch
all
berries.
day. Oh, that's even better.
Have you seen the Crunch Berries with marshmallows?
Yes.
Yeah.
I ate those on the way back from studio, actually. At Buc-ee's, they had a little single serve one, and I was like, I'll take these.
Yeah.
I've been pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We would probably be better off on heroin.
Probably. Actually, yes.
Other than sugar.
Did you know that rats, there was a study done where they gave rats cocaine and sugar, and then they took it away for a week or two and let them get the withdrawal symptoms, and then gave them both back to them, and the rats chose sugar every single time. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. It's insane.
I totally believe it.
It's crazy.
But anyway, what I was going to say is honey.
I hate honey.
Do you really?
I hate honey.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of the same way.
It grosses me out.
Huh.
I'm not a big fan of honey, but we started getting our coffee from a local family. They kind of do this thing on the side, and they also do honey, and it's all. So I tried that, and I was like, it's just way better. Still, I'm not just going to sit there and eat honey or anything, but I replaced instead of using sugar in my coffee, I would use some of the honey, and it was so much better than just store-bought stuff. Yeah,
it's super. Yeah.
I mean, you can even get local, what would be considered processed honey. You know, you don't have any of the comb in it.
Yeah.
And it's great if you have allergies.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, because that's what bees do. They pollinate.
Yeah.
And so I
didn't even think about that.
It's like natural antibodies.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it.
But yeah, I'd substitute that sugar I put on cereal with honey. It's a little thicker. You got to mix it. It's really good with oatmeal.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Substitute, because I'm 45-year-old kid. I still love peanut butter and jelly, but
me too.
I can do peanut butter and honey instead. That's really good. And what was the other one? Yeah, honey.
The only time I'll eat or drink honey is in my teas, and it has to be a specific kind of tea. It's only chamomile. I call it the teddy bear tea. Yeah. Because it's got a teddy bear on the front of it, but it's chamomile. But I'll tell my mom, can you give me the teddy bear tea? And she's like, all right, 5-year-old. So, but I'll drink tea with honey and lemon. But that's the only one that I'll do that with. Yeah. So I don't like honey, but again, it's like an acquired thing. I think I just have to keep eating it, and then I'll.
Yeah.
build a tolerance for it.
The other thing was substitute for cinnamon toast. I don't know if you ever make your own cinnamon toast. It's like cinnamon toast is just butter on toast and then sugar and cinnamon. It's good.
Oh.
But remove the sugar and cinnamon and just put honey, butter and honey.
Oh,
and it's really
that
good.
actually sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds good.
And I mean, you still get, and obviously,
still
honey has sugar.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get any more
But it's natural.
Right?
Yeah.
It's natural. Or you can, like, I was just eating a crap ton of fruit when I went no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting tired of it because I was like, I can't eat this much fruit in a day to make me feel like, oh yeah, no, we're good now. Like, there's no way.
I could probably do that, but it would be the whole bag of grapes.
That's how it was. Yeah, I'd have to go to the store every day.
But I eat grapes like I drink water or soda or whatever. I don't. Yeah, I mean,
just start and then don't stop till they're gone.
I mean, you've been sipping on yours all night. Mine would have been gone an hour ago. It's just I don't waste time. But grapes, it's like I'm like a freaking squirrel.
It's how I am with cherry tomatoes. That's why my stomach acid is so bad.
Yeah, I have grown to like tomatoes. I still don't eat tomatoes on their own.
Why?
I just no.
Can't do it.
Target has a really good brand. I think they're called like Sweet Pops or something like that. And they're just like super sweet cherry tomatoes. They're the best tomatoes I've ever had. And I will buy like $20 worth and just snack the entire week on them. They're just so good.
I like Roma's the best.
Oh, Roma's are good too.
Make good salsa. They make the cottage cheese salad that we make. It's like a summer salad, but we make it all year long because we love it.
Yeah.
They're in it. Yeah, I mean, I even when I know that I'm buying tomatoes for cheeseburgers or something, that we're making on the grill or something like that, I would choose Roma's over
more
slicing
flavorful.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I just don't like tomatoes. I like tomato products.
Well, and I totally get that because it was a long, long time before. And to me, the best way for me to enjoy a tomato is as a garnish. As a part of something.
Right.
And I'm the same way with cucumbers. For the longest time, I hated cucumbers.
I don't like cucumbers.
But see, I don't like melons.
Do you like pickles?
I don't either.
I love pickles.
Oh, so you're one of those. You don't like the cucumber, but you like the pickle.
Well, and I've grown to like cucumbers. Again, they're not ones that I just eat on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of the kids and Brooke, man, they'll just eat cucumbers.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was not a vegetable kid at all. It was carrots, celery, corn on the cob,
Wings.
and then potatoes.
Yeah.
Which are kind of straddling the line there. They're root.
Depends.
But, yeah.
Depends on how you make them.
I'm kind of
But pickles all day long.
It depends on the pickle.
Yeah.
For me, I can't eat like too sour of a pickle.
I like the sour pickles.
So yeah, I can't do that.
I don't like the bread and butter pickles. I think
the sweet pickles, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love sweet pickles.
I don't dislike them, but I don't go out of my way to have them. And if I don't know that they're sweet pickles, then I'm going to be pissed. I'll pop it in. It's like, mother.
It's like eating a cookie you think it's chocolate chips, but it's raisins. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Or popping in what you think's a sugar cookie and you find out it's like a biscuit. Yeah. It's just what?
Yeah.
What? It's not right.
I can see that.
This is some exciting conversation,
right?
guys.
I don't know. I think this is pretty exciting.
It's informative.
We're talking about cucumbers and
honey.
Sugar, honey.
Yeah.
Things to do with honey. And
we're not only helping ourselves, but we might be helping other people.
That's right. Edutainment.
Yes.
That's a good deal.
Yes.
2021, starting off with a bang.
New Year's resolutions.
Right?
Yeah. This is helping.
I do need to cut down on some sugar.
Yeah. Bad thing is
I didn't really make a resolution, but maybe I should just belatedly kind of try to do that.
I don't know. Do those resolutions even work? I feel like they work for maybe the first 2-3 months of the year, and then everyone's like,
yeah,
whatever.
You know what I think works the best?
Lent.
Well, I mean, for the duration.
Yeah, it works for me.
Is not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You make the decision to do it,
mm-hmm.
and as soon as you tell somebody, you set yourself up for failure. But if you don't tell anybody, and you're the only one that's holding you accountable, obviously you can fail, and it's no big deal. But for some reason, it seems like I got a week. You got this date in your mind. It's like, okay, I've gone a month, and I'm going to tell everybody I've gone a month. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
When I stopped chewing, I think I went 3 weeks before I ever said anything to Brooke. And I'm surprised she didn't notice, because there wasn't some nasty ass spit bottle around the house or something like that.
Yeah.
But she just didn't, and I felt like I was gonna jinx myself if I'd said something before.
Right.
It also helped that for whatever reason that first week, I guess because internally I made the decision. It wasn't just like, oh, I need to do this. That was the time, and that first week was a piece of cake. And so every week after that, the next 3 weeks were pretty rough, but I had chewed for 20 years, and it was like, okay, I just went a week,
Yeah.
So I can go
crazy.
Another week.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can go another week, and that's how. But come to find out, my grandmother, the one that's still alive, my 100-year-old grandmother, she had smoked for several years, and she had one day just made the decision that she was going to quit, and she just quit. So it goes,
That's crazy.
awesome.
So I was like, okay.
I have an
Makes
addictive
sense.
personality. That's hard for me to say no to stuff.
Yeah.
Would you say that you have an addictive personality?
As far as sugar and soda goes,
Well,
yeah.
I guess everyone has their vice.
Yeah, yeah. Because you hear I've sat here and drank 2 beers, but I don't drink at home. I drink here,
yeah.
or I drink at a show or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, and the times that I have, I feel like a beer, at home, I get about halfway through it and I'm like, yeah, it's just not the same. Yeah.
It's not a show.
Well, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, it's like, I would hate to do a show without having a beer, at least one beer, before the show or something like that. At this point, it's tradition. I don't know.
Now you've made me want to have a beer.
There's one left.
Is there one left? Do you want it?
No, go ahead.
So I'm not going to drink the last beer. Now I feel bad.
No, drink it.
It's okay.
Do it. No peer pressure. No peer pressure.
Everyone's just
I'm going to
staring
stand
at
up to the peer pressure. Won't do it.
That's
Can't
funny.
make me.
Yeah. I thought we had more, but apparently we went through a few more at practice last time.
It happens.
It does.
Working hard on new music, it happens.
Yeah.
Working hard or hardly working?
Yeah.
Both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It starts as one and ends as the other. I'll leave you to decide when you hear the album.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. I will let you guys know.
Oh, they were hardly working there. Got to get a good northern accent when you do it.
Yeah, that's really good.
No,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of summers in Minnesota.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
They got them
I can't
hard
do it.
O's.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't you know?
Don't you know? That's getting a little further north of the border, don't you know? But
Oh,
yeah. You know there, buddy guy buddy.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
So, have you caught any good movies lately? They're in short supply this year, but anything jump out at you?
What's the one, the Jack Nicholson one? The one that flew over the cuckoo's
Yeah. Oh, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a good one. I've never saw that.
Yeah.
I never saw that one. That's very country of me.
Sorry.
I've never seen that one.
Did you? So
never have seen that one there.
Yeah.
Never saw that.
This is the Midwest. She's from Texas. It's allowed. Don't you know?
It is.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know? Isn't it weird?
It's
because
a very
technically, wouldn't like Minnesota?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie
in Midwest.
Yeah,
I think so.
Texas, the difference between a Texas dialect to a Minnesota, Minnesotan dialect.
Hey y'all, how we doing down here? Are we good or are we really good? Like,
see, I'd love to have a summer home in Minnesota and then winters in Texas. That would be good for me.
Yeah,
that would be good for
That'd
me.
be really nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Texas weather is insane.
It's a long ass drive, but
might be worth it. I don't know. Like Texas weather is just, it's too much. Way too much for me.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's
in
just.
In what way? Like in the summertime?
Yeah, but it's just so bipolar. Like, I don't know how else to explain it.
He spent 1 year in the middle of the country.
I'm sure. I know. It's just like Texas has that reputation for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially Dallas.
I think every state has that reputation.
Yeah.
To the people that live in that state.
I would, because it's just like in the morning, it'll be really nice and pretty, and then 2 hours later, hail and a tornado and all these crazy things. And it's not even in the forecast. Like, you don't even know how to prepare. So it's kind of like, okay. But this year, especially, we had snow on Sunday.
Mm.
Yeah, that was really weird. But and I think the other part of it is that people go insane. If there's rain, if there's snow, I had never seen so many snow pictures in my life on Facebook. As soon as I logged in on that Sunday, I was like, okay.
Well, and what's great is areas that don't get snow very often. There are literally people there that have never experienced snow.
Yeah.
And to be on the road with them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's awful. Yes. I asked Travis, I was like, hey, do you know how to drive in snow? And he was like, yes. I was like, so how do you do it? And he goes, just don't accelerate and you're good. And I was like, I think there's more than that, but we're just going to we'll just leave it at that. That's fine.
You kind of got to accelerate.
Are we just going to
go to the store.
You just idle everywhere. That's it.
You just kick out the floorboards and go Flintstones on
it. Yeah. No, yeah, it was kind of crazy. And we were at church when it was happening. So I was just kind of sitting there looking out the window. Yeah. And it's snowing. It was really pretty, but
it's so pretty to look at.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And
I just want to stay inside.
That. Yes. I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. And that day we had things to do. So I was kind of kicking myself in the butt for it. But I mean, we got to hang out with family and stuff. So it was fine. But I just remember in the morning, I was like, I just want to go lay in bed, open up all the windows. Not open them up, but
the curtains,
the blinds or whatever. And just sit and watch, read a good book, have some hot chocolate and just, just watch because it's so pretty.
We had our full family Christmas on January 2nd and we had snow that day. And we had great big snowflakes. And so we took the boys out and every year we get pictures of them all four together. And so we did that while it was snowing. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even rain in Texas though, you don't want to be on the road.
Yeah.
When it's raining in Texas.
Well, that's because everybody's driving 95.
That's not true though.
Okay.
I mean,
85.
we do know what we do. I mean, I'm the first one to admit I'm a little Speedy Gonzalez on the road.
It's great.
I'm very fast.
Great, especially when you get to downtown Dallas because it's 6 freaking lanes and it's
yeah, people are just ready to go places,
there's and doing it at night.
Oh, that's the scary part though.
Oh, no, I mean, there's no traffic.
No, there's no traffic and it's awesome. After shows, oh my gosh, I was like, boom, I wanted to go home. But when it's raining, people just all of a sudden don't know how to function.
Yeah.
And that's in everything. So rain, people don't walk outside because it's raining, but it's just walk. Just go to your car. I'd rather go to my car and be dry in 20 minutes like on my way home than be stuck in a Walmart for 20 minutes waiting for the rain to end.
Yeah. Oh, that gets expensive too. Because you just stand there and you're like,
yeah, I guess I'll take
impulse
this.
buying.
I guess I'll take this too.
I've talked about getting that pasta maker. Let's go back and look at that.
This DVD player is on sale. It's a really good deal. I do that. Like if something's on like a really good deal, I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any DVDs. I got all blue, but I might get one.
I might need one someday. Yeah. That's a hoarder talking right there.
Right.
It's so bad.
Sorry. And we had our little weather tangent.
Yes.
But what I was going to say is after One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, did you watch Ratchet on Netflix?
No, everyone's telling me to watch it. I just haven't watched it.
A prequel.
What?
To One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I can't tell you much about it. I only caught bits and pieces. Brooke watched all of it.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it a lot.
I'm going to have to watch it now. I know Sarah Paulson is in it, and I really, really, really like her. She's very good.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah, what is it about really good actresses, or not actresses, but actors in general here lately that have speech impediments? Because she's got this subtle little, and that Ben Mendelsohn that's been in everything like Rogue One and Talos in Captain Marvel, and
I never saw Captain Marvel.
The director Krennic in Rogue One. The main bad guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. He's been popping up in everything. He's got this subtle little speech impediment.
Really?
Yeah. I never noticed. Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
No,
but it kind of jumps out at you. I don't know.
It's cool in a way. It's kind of a humanizing element.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, especially with director Krennic, it kind of pulled me out a little bit. I'm like, I don't feel threatened by that.
Yeah. I mean, what other really good actors have that?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
What?
Oh, she doesn't know.
Oh.
She does not know.
Am I showing my age?
We're probably showing our age. Yeah. He's a comedian. The Police Academy movies, I guess, always.
That was probably the most famous.
Yeah.
I know of Police Academy, those movies.
One Crazy Summer. You remember that one?
I don't think I ever watched
John
that.
Cusack.
I love John Cusack.
And Demi Moore.
John Cusack's a fantastic freaking actor.
He can be.
I'm not saying he's always in great movies, but I think that he's a really good actor, in my opinion.
He's kind of fallen into the Nick Cage trap right now. He's doing a lot of straight to streaming crap. The problem is he doesn't have the pizzazz that Nick Cage has. So I went back and it kept coming up on my feed. It's the one called Primal. I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix. Yeah, but it's just some random Nick Cage movie. Anyway, I watched it. It was not terrible. A lot of it was phoned in. But what set that all off is I watched the one called Mom and Dad. Have you seen that one?
No.
Mm-mm.
It has something to do with, I can't remember if it was a virus or a phone signal or something, but it sets all the world's parents against their kids. I mean, wanting to kill their kids. So you got Nick Cage in a movie like that.
Wow.
And he just like pulls out all the stops and goes nuts. I mean, it was great. Yeah, super fun. I love it when him going batshit crazy works for the role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I watched that, and then I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to watch some of these bad, straight to streaming movies. And I kind of fell into a Nick Cage trap for a few hours. It was kind of fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, John Cusack doesn't have that flair. So it's like if it's a phoned in performance, then it's just, it's kind of like, I wouldn't even compare it to like the countless Bruce Willis movies that he's in like 30 seconds, but he makes it to the Skyver and probably gets $1 million for it. But,
right.
I wish.
That's, that
I'd do a really bad movie for $1 million. Why not? Let's go for it.
Sign me up for 10 of those.
Yeah, that one's, I don't know. There's something about him doing those that makes sense. But feels like they all feel like a sellout. I mean, come on. But his just seems like it's strategy. Nick Cage, again, it's almost like just because, I just feel like doing a movie.
Let's just do this one.
That's a pretty good Nick Cage impression. I like it.
And then, but John Cusack, it feels like it's out of desperation. And maybe that's because I like
really
him
sad.
better than the rest of them.
Yeah.
So when he's doing crappy stuff, it feels like desperation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Speaking of desperation, have you guys seen Wonder Woman, the new one?
I have not seen the new one yet.
I mean,
I'm a little scared
you
too.
wouldn't be missing out much if you didn't watch it.
That's kind of what I've heard.
Yeah, it's a little out there.
I thought it was a good movie. There just wasn't a whole lot of Wonder Woman.
Right.
There was a ton of Diana.
Yes.
And I think she does that role very well. And I thought a lot of the things that people complain about, like with Chris Pine and stuff like that, I thought that was given the context, I thought it was believable.
Yeah.
And then I thought Kristen Wiig was great.
Kristen Wiig did a lot better than I imagined her to do. At times she kind of looked prettier. Than Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There were moments.
In a very, very true to form 80s way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Gal Gadot didn't really. Her look through that had hints of 80s, but she just kind of kept this timeless female look through the whole thing. And Kristen Wiig, she was just full 80s, man. The only thing that was missing were freaking leg warmers.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'll have to give it a shot.
I think I was most impressed by Pedro Pascal, because when I saw the trailer and him with this blonde wig, and he didn't have he was cleanly shaven. He's
different than the Mandalorian,
well,
for sure.
or anything else
like
I've seen him in.
Narcos.
I didn't think I was going to like him.
Yeah.
And I can't say I really liked him, but I thought the character was good.
Yeah, he did really well at executing the character. 100%. It was very believable of like, this guy's like
I think he's got to wear the helmet and everything he does from now on.
Right?
Oh, no. No. I mean, it would bring a lot of money.
I think the movie was a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the narrative kind of went off the rails a few times. It just felt kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
I think had they tightened it up,
it would have been
by
a pretty decent movie.
15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem was that there just wasn't enough Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The beginning sequence was awesome.
Where they're all in the but I didn't understand where that came into play in the movie exactly.
It all had to do with the truth. Yeah. I don't want to.
We can't really spoil it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Sorry.
But, and so that was a really long, elaborate sequence.
Yeah.
For it was the core of the movie, but it was the lesson that she learned from this thing at the beginning.
Okay.
And it was really cool, but it, in the grand scheme of things, kind of convoluted. But
well, I took Amanda to go see that movie for her 15th birthday because we both thought, oh, why not? It'll be fun or whatever. And at first, all these ratings were like, oh, it's so good, it's amazing, everyone's gonna love it. It's Wonder Woman 1 just revamped to 80s or whatever, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. We got to the theater, probably made it like 45 minutes to an hour into it, and then she was like, can we go?
Oof.
I'm on board. So I think it got good ratings for people who really like the DC comics or are big DC fans,
Yeah.
But then people like my sister, that generation, just hated it tore to pieces. And I don't really understand. Like, I mean, you can look past some of the faults.
Yeah, I mean, it looked better than the first one. My biggest gripe about all the DC stuff has been there's always been this element of almost cartoonish. Like in what was it, Batman versus Superman, the big baddie at the end of that. I would have sworn that was one of the characters out of one of the live action Scooby-Doo movies.
Really?
I just the animation with it.
I will tell you, I haven't seen any DC movies other than Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
that's the only DC movie I've watched.
You're not missing out a whole lot.
That's what I've been told.
I generally don't like the DC stuff, but I liked the first Wonder Woman movie a lot.
Yeah,
I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, Man of Steel was good.
It's Henry Cavill. I think that's why I don't watch him.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I get why girls think he's attractive, but I just don't. I can't jump on that train.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm not there. I'm not 100%.
I don't know. I grew up with Christopher Reeve, and so
I think that's where, because I've watched
he's always
going to
be my Superman.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I thought Henry Cavill in The Witcher was
so great.
I thought
so
great.
good.
He fit that really well.
Yeah.
So I read the book. I knew the show was coming out, so I went through all the books.
Did you read the books?
I listened to the books.
You listened to it. Well, did you like it though?
Yeah, okay. I did. I liked them.
Did you play the games or game? I don't know.
I do have like the third one, and I've played it a little bit, but I never got super into it.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't know any of this stuff. I just all my friends are guys.
But he really did capture the way that I viewed Geralt of Rivia.
I would agree.
What I loved about that series is he pulled the upscaled version of Ron Perlman's in Hellboy.
Yeah.
It was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It was good. Oh, it's gonna get good now.
Yeah.
But I think the Superman thing, he couldn't. He's too strong, too pronounced, too strong a jaw. That was the thing Christopher Reeve and even Brandon Routh had. They had that vulnerability in the Clark Kent side of things that I don't think Henry Cavill could sell.
No, I would agree.
I don't think he's bad in the role by any means, but it was like a.
What do you think about Ben Affleck as Batman? Couldn't get on that train either.
I didn't care.
Oh,
I mean, at that point, I just really didn't care.
I don't know. Christian Bale.
Yeah,
for me is Batman.
He's Batman to me.
I mean, it's Christian Bale and Michael Keaton. Those are my Batmans.
Agree. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Robert Pattinson's going to do though.
Yeah.
That's my sister's husband.
It's Batman. I'm going to check it out. I'm probably going to complain.
You say your sister's married to him?
Okay, like.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, she's 15, so she loves him. Yeah, she has him on like the back of her phone, like a sticker of him. Like she's obsessed right now, but
right.
I mean, it's just I think it's a phase. I mean, she could come back in 5 years and say it's not a phase. I really love him.
God, don't let her watch The Lighthouse.
Oh, I didn't. I started watching that movie in the theater.
The Lighthouse.
Okay.
Have you watched it yet?
No.
Best thing about that is Willem Dafoe.
I would. Yes. I love Robert Pattinson, but it was just a little like, what? Like I left early that movie. I don't have a fear of leaving early in movies. Yeah. It's like if I'm not enjoying it, then why am I here? That was one of those movies I was like, all right, I don't really like this.
So you probably didn't make it to the really freaky shit then.
I saw the last thing I remember was like The Mermaid. Okay. And I couldn't take that seriously. I was kind of like, all right, I don't know if
it got weird.
Did it really?
It got really weird with The Mermaid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you've ever had questions about mermaid anatomy, they were answered in that movie.
Well, okay.
Ew.
And they're compatible.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But
do you feel bad for the people who make those movies? Or think of like, are they okay?
Well, the guy that made that is the one that made The Witch.
Oh.
So, to me, that's a very super pretentious guy.
Yeah.
He hardcore getting the period right. Because I thought The Witch was boring as shit.
Really?
Yeah,
I loved it.
I thought as far as a period piece goes, it was dead on. Because
it was very boring
ain't
at
nothing
times.
happening.
Yeah, but the ending freaked me out. You're like, no, it's worse.
But anyway, so I don't know. This is probably what, 20s, 30s, The Lighthouse?
Yeah, I would maybe even earlier.
Yeah. So, but you're talking like old seafaring New Englander, Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
I mean, every stereotypical yar here hard.
He does it so effortlessly.
He nails it. I mean, it's worth watching the movie at least
for him,
just for his
a while, just
performance.
For his performance. Yeah.
Right on.
And then if you have questions about mermaids, stick it out.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Deep burning questions about.
You'll be disappointed.
Oh,
really?
Prosthetics, and it just ain't right.
Ew.
Right. I mean, at least it's in black and white. Yeah,
that's true. That's the only good thing about that movie. Well, and William Dafoe, but I love William Dafoe. He
does no wrong.
Yeah, he really does.
I mean, even shitty movies and little parts, he owns them.
He really does.
He's really a chameleon.
Yes.
He's kind of a freaky looking dude too.
Yeah. That's what makes him so good.
Mm-hmm. I would say Steve Buscemi also looks a little freaky.
Yeah,
he does,
but not in a scary way.
No,
Willem Dafoe can
like
get scary.
It's like okay. Like was he the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire? Wasn't he the dad?
Green Goblin.
The Green Goblin. Yeah. Okay, that's where I was because that's like the first time I saw one of his movies. It was those Spider-Man movies, or just the one, and. Yeah, I was always like, he looks a little creepy. Like,
yeah.
Ooh. And then had a kid with like James Franco. Okay, it's believable.
Right. We need to see the mom.
The mom must have been like a supermodel.
Yeah. I thought he was a great Norman Osborn, and I'd love to see him get pulled back into the MCU somehow.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Or brought into the MCU somehow.
Right.
Which it sounds like they're going to try and do some weird multiverse stuff, bringing Garfield and Tobey Maguire back.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah,
really?
Kind of a multiverse type thing.
Oh, okay.
Talked like Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, and just Doc Ock, Alfred Molina. Although he died, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess the comic books would do stuff like that all the time.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean. Do we want it to be like comic books, or do we want
to be like kind of stepped up a notch? Yeah,
I mean, they always talk about if Robert Downey Jr. is to come back as Iron Man, is that going to take away from his death? Well,
yes,
yeah,
I think it would.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But then you start talking about all this multiverse stuff, then it could be another Tony Stark,
Yeah, but still.
But that's another thing. I think it sounds like with the Doctor Strange movie, in the Multiverse of Madness, they're going to try and so like, whenever somebody is cast, others are rejected, right? So I think they're going to try and pull in some of these actors that didn't get the part or even turn down the part, but so like we may get a cameo of like Tom Cruise as Tony Stark because he was up for it.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember some of the other ones, but
see, that's a good way of doing it.
I think it would. I think
it
would really be fun if they brought what's his name, Terrence Howard back as Rhodey, since they replaced him.
Oh yeah,
I think there's probably still some bad blood there.
Probably,
but that would be funny.
I like that. That's a good way of doing that if they did do that. Like get all the rejects and
Matt, let's get you on the MCU team.
Shoot.
I need to be a bad guy.
They need us.
I need to be a bad guy.
Oh no, I meant like in part of
like the writing
pitch team.
Yeah, the pitch team.
We would make them
writers.
millions of dollars, if not billions.
Yeah,
it's really Matt's idea.
I want in Lucasfilm. That's where I want.
So okay, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Honestly,
or TV show?
It's probably going to be Rogue One.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the one I fell asleep in.
It is a cross between Rogue One and The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
I mean,
so none of the new
no.
trilogy. You know, like that?
No.
Had a lot of problems with it?
Yeah.
What was the worst thing about those 3 movies? The ending?
Yeah, well, no plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the thing about The Mandalorian. I guarantee you season 2 was planned before they even started shooting season 1.
Yeah.
And they made it, you know, they came into it gradually.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian's some of the best Star Wars we've had for a long, long time.
Very, very authentic.
Yeah.
I think
it feels like my childhood.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and I would say that that Solo is way up there because Solo felt like old Star Wars to me.
I did like Solo.
Yeah. It was an adventure. You know?
I agree.
So, but me always leaning a little towards the dark. Empire Strikes Back was always my favorite. Rogue One is very bleak. But I love it, and it's delivered dark. It's like adult Star Wars. Solo is kid Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing about Rogue One is that there's nobody special in it.
Yeah.
And yet it shows the stakes behind the rebellion. Yeah. I mean, it actually adds so much more to the original trilogy because you kind of get a feel. And, you know, I think that the Andor series, if they will continue with the way the character was presented in Rogue One, where he's not always a good guy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Then that series will be really good.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment.
You lost me on
that.
I don't know what
Cassian Andor was one of the main characters in that movie, but he's getting his own TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll be a prequel to Rogue One.
I've heard of it from friends who are obsessed.
I am actually excited for Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. Right?
I think that one's going to be really cool. And that's the one that the director of Wonder Woman 1 and 2.
Is that what's her name?
Jenkins.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love the kind of like the pitch trailer that they delivered where she was like, you know, my father was a fighter pilot and, you know, I've always wanted to do, you know, something, you know, about that and, you know, just always waiting for the perfect thing and this is it, you know.
Heck yeah.
I mean, we're talking Star Wars, we're talking jets, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool.
Yeah,
what a time to be alive.
I fell asleep during The Mandalorian multiple times. But I still cried at the end. And not like a cute cry, like a tear, but like a oh my gosh. You know?
I was that way when Ahsoka Tano hit the screen. I was like,
oh. So what show was she? What was that? Was it Clone Wars?
Yeah, she debuted in Clone Wars.
Okay.
And then she popped up in Rebels.
Okay, because I remember watching that Clone Wars every now and then. I don't pay attention to it. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I'll pay attention every now and then. And that was when I was like, I really like her. And then she showed up, and they did great on her costume. Yeah, like they just did a fantastic job.
Yeah. The coolest thing about that character is that is the one and only character that fans have ever gotten to watch grow as completely as any others, because throughout that Anakin and Obi-Wan were pretty much the same, you know, and then, you know, Anakin's arc was over the 3 movies.
Yeah.
So, but you had seasons of watching and, you know, she was a small girl to start with, and you saw her become a woman, I remember when I had no idea she was going to pop up in Rebels, and she popped up, and I screamed like a little girl. She was so cool. She is my favorite character out of all of Star Wars.
I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah,
with that.
She's just. And what's so funny is so many people disliked her when she first showed up because she was just like this whiny little, or not really whiny, but cocky little Padawan, and of course, you had to make some exceptions because Anakin was never a master,
Yeah.
So there was some, but it was in wartime, so it was kind of like, the rule of two on the Sith side was thrown out the window because you had Ventress, and then later on the Inquisitors, and so I mean, maybe they're not technically Sith, but come on,
yeah,
they got red lightsabers and they're bad guys,
yeah.
So, but I would love to get a live action Ventress.
Yes.
Yep.
That'd be badass.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure by the Mandalorian timeline though, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have to be somewhere in the Rogue One era.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be cool because there's a whole storyline with her falling in love with the Jedi after she left. And then he ends up going bad, but comes back, and long story short, she sacrifices herself to save him.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would be
Romeo and Juliet.
It would be a really cool story.
Yeah.
To see played out.
Wow.
Yeah. Quinlan Voss, I think, was the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't read the story. I've just got like the Cliff Notes.
There's just so many like Star Wars like stories that you can just make into really good movies.
What was it?
I know it's a pretty
little
deep
overwhelming.
universe. Yeah, it is.
Well, there was so I had a temporary song title that I had shared with the guys for one of the demos, and it was 1L19.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back to 1L19. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, Daryl, what did Daryl respond with? Because it was just after the Mandalorian. It was like
I think he said a TK something
TK 119 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, TK 421. He goes, that's who Han Solo is talking to in A New Hope. When they hit the prison.
Oh.
It was like TK 421, respond, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. God, where was I going with it?
Like 1L19.
1L19.
Yeah,
and when
right.
you said 1L19, you're like, what's that from? I was thinking maybe that was
okay. So anyway, I after I had responded with TK421, I was like, I'm going to Google search TK1L or 119 or whatever. I think it was just TK19. I think. Anyway, there was a Wikipedia or a Star Wars Wikipedia entry came up for an actual stormtrooper with that designation. So, and
wow.
I mean, he didn't do like anything special.
Yeah.
But you could probably put TK whatever you wanted, and there's going to be an entry for a stormtrooper.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway,
when is too much, or when is that?
Yeah, I think that.
Have we reached it?
I think we reached it right there with that. Yeah.
It's just it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But so he was thinking maybe that I was making a Star Wars reference, and then Quentin chimed in with something else that was another sci-fi thing. But the thing is 1L19 is the police officer designation for the guy that radios in after Arnold Schwarzenegger gets run over in the Terminator. And then the Terminator gets up and slams him, and then drives off in his car, and he's like 1L19. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you got a crossover there.
Yeah, a little bit. That's gonna be a song title though. 1L19.
Nice.
Yeah. Why not?
Get a little sneak preview.
You know what I just thought of, because we were talking about Star Wars and stuff.
Do we ever talk about Star Wars?
What?
Did anybody say our baby Grogu?
Baby Grogu.
Oh, Grogu.
Over there with the xenomorph.
I love Baby Grogu.
I'm waiting for him to reach over and just
eat it. Yeah.
It was funny. We were watching it, and I was just like, if he grabs another one of those eggs and eats it, I'm gonna be so mad at him.
Oh, it cracked me up because the backlash the next day was like, he's eating their children, or like they're unfertilized eggs.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah,
you had an omelet?
eggs. Yeah,
we had an omelet. Have you had scrambled eggs in the morning? Because guess what?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a bummer, but
it's okay.
Baby got to eat.
Guy we went to school with, Adam Hazelwood, is what's the organization? Where they all dress up like dark side people, and you know what I'm talking about?
The thing I was thinking of was 501st, but those
yes.
Oh,
he's
really?
He's in the 501st.
Oh yeah. I thought those are clones, right? Or maybe they cosplay everything and just go under that designation. But I thought they were.
Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think that's it. But it's basically all dark side people. Huh. He's got like several, like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And I think like a TIE fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Or something outfit, something that's like cool. That. But he's really, really active in that in Wichita.
Yeah. Wow. I would absolutely love to have a stormtrooper's uniform. Actually, a scout trooper.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Actually, all of them.
I want it all.
All of them. Even just the helmets, you know? I mean, it's kind of like growing up, I grew up through Star Wars, and I was still probably 10 when Jedi came out. And so I was still kind of in the toy phase, but there were so many years in between Star Wars that I really got into G.I. Joe, right? And so it's kind of like with the Empire, the Cobra Command, you know, I always gravitated to them, not so much because they were the bad guys. They just had kick-ass uniforms, you know.
Yeah.
They had the helmets and stuff like that. And
No,
you know,
so they're cool, dude.
I mean, the Rebellion and the Joes are cool because they all have their individual identities. But you know what? Seeing a sea of stormtroopers is badass.
Yeah, gives you a different feeling than
And then the way that, you know, like the stormtrooper helmet and the TIE fighter pilot and the AT-AT pilot, how they, and even the scout troopers and the snow troopers, there's all this common theme that you can tell that they all belong to that same family. And wow, we went really off the deep end here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did we start?
So what
we actually started with you putting out an album.
Yeah. So I want to know what you nerd out about. Obviously, we nerd out about Star Wars and stuff.
I don't know. She's keeping up with us pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you definitely
kind of.
are.
I'm trying.
No, you're doing great.
I just have friends who are really into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now you have goals.
Well, besides music, is there anything that you just like kind of really get into? And
health and fitness for sure. I've always been, this year's been, I think it's been weird for everyone, or 2020 was weird for everyone, but, since I can remember, I've been very into, fitness, maybe to a fault, but, health is also a big thing. I've done a lot of research over the last 3-4 years on just like what to put in your body, things like that. I was diagnosed with GERD at 18, which
I have no idea what that is.
It's, hold on, I have to say it. Like
it was kind of like
gastrointestinal esophageal reflux disease.
Oh, okay.
So
like acid reflux.
It's
in a
like
nutshell.
Extremely chronic. Man-made, so I did it myself, kind of disease. Sugar, carbonated sodas, waters, whatever, lots of fried foods. That's what got me. And then citrusy foods like tomatoes, that I still eat because I don't care. When you cut the 99% of your diet out, you can leave 1% for that little something that you like. But I kind of wanted to make that change, and so looked into like healthier options for myself, and then stumbled upon what actually happens when you eat chicken, or what's in chicken really. And basically like the factory farms will just pump up chickens with sodium so that they can get more of a profit in a way heavier, right? So I mean, I was sitting there like, I'm eating grilled chicken, not cheese. I mean, grilled cheese is really good, but grilled chicken every day. I'm eating broccoli. I'm eating, just extremely bland foods, and I'm just not getting any better. And so, decided to go vegetarian, and then went vegan shortly after. So that's kind of been like my other hobby. It's like just trying to cook for myself because I don't know what I'm doing. Like I can't, vegan's really hard.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out and keep things different.
Yes. Yes. That's been really difficult. Although I am a creature of habit. I like being, I like having the same things every day, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I like having like a set schedule of like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, go get your protein shake. Okay. Go to class. Okay. Here's this, you know? So, those, I mean, it's all been, again, and I'm not perfect, so it kind of fluctuates every now and then. Like sometimes I'll have to give in, and like, especially when we're on the road, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Like people think that when you say you're vegan or vegetarian, it's like, okay, here's some carrots. Have at it, you know.
No,
or here's some mashed potatoes. Yeah, it's like, well, where's my protein? Because I'm not getting protein from carrots and carrots alone. I mean, they have some source of protein, but not a lot.
Right. Yeah, so, to get all the nutrients that you need from plants, you do have to put a lot of thought into it, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And there's like, you know, Impossible Burgers and things like that make it easy. But when I'm traveling,
trust that stuff. I don't trust.
Oh, it's good.
Is it?
The one I had at Wahlburgers was really good.
Impossible Burger.
I did try.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did try the one. Not as good as the Wahlburgers. There was something that was just off.
Yeah.
About that one.
Yeah.
And then I've made some black bean patties.
Ooh, I love
that were
black
pretty
bean
good.
Burgers.
Especially if you don't treat it like a burger. Treat it more like you know, do it with salsa or do it something kind of Mexican related that it makes it really good. But there are subtle little hints that's like, it is kind of beefy. Yeah. You know, and it's kind of weird, you know, because you're getting that out of a bean. But just some of the seasonings in it just doesn't, ketchup and mustard just doesn't work on top of it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find the good balance of all of it. And then to get the nutrients.
Or even ranch really would probably go over it pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe barbecue. Yeah. But then you're talking about adding sugar.
Right.
Which depending on what barbecue sauce you get.
Yeah, well, like you said, factory farm chickens, and like my wife and I came to the same conclusion about that stuff. We kind of went the other way though. We went toward instead of going more plant based, we went like locally raised.
Oh, I love it. Yes,
more like actually more heavy on animal products.
Absolutely,
but free of all of that stuff.
Yeah,
like
and that's
local farms.
Yes. And that's
regenerative agriculture.
I've been pushing that for a long time, like especially even with my core group of people, like especially my parents. Like I just really worry about how sick these animals really are and how they're treated is a whole other, I mean, I have and this is the only reason why I'm like, I am the way that I am now. I went vegetarian for health reasons and health reasons alone. I went vegan because I realized how bad these animals are being treated. And I got a cat almost 3 years ago. He's 2.5. And we found him at a Chick-fil-A parking lot and we lured him in with a chicken nugget. And so his name is Nugget and he is the sweetest cat ever. He's like the first pet I've truly ever owned and have said is mine. And that just turned my life around of like, wait, but like, I love this cat. Like if someone tried to do something to him, I think I would kill someone first. Like I'd be like, I will get in the way of my cat. And I don't know. It made me realize like how much I loved animals in general, just the pure innocence of them. And they just want to do what they want to do. And, you know, they don't know why they're here. I mean, there's so many like horror stories I've heard. I've had friends who work at Chick-fil-A who have said some really gnarly things about like how these chickens are killed and things like that. And that's,
I mean, that is important for me too. Like I do eat animal products, but it's important to me that those animals get to live their lives in the way that they're supposed to live, not cooped up in small little areas, crapping all over each other, or being pumped full of stuff, you know. And then they
every single day until they're big enough to die.
Yes.
And when they do when they are killed, it's done in a humane fashion.
Oh yeah.
You know, like a lot of those animals in the wild would be killed brutally by another animal.
But that's different.
It's
different. We're not, they weren't born and raised to be eaten the way that we eat them in the wild. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You also have people who say like, well, you know, if you don't see it, then just eat it. And I'm like, well, no, I don't want my money going towards something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just some of the things like Joaquin Phoenix, his documentaries are just insane. I remember crying the first time I saw I think it was called Earthlings or something like, yeah, it was Earthlings. That one really put it in perspective for me of like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize like how bad these animals were being treated. And you're right in that they're just being pumped with stuff all day, every day. And then there's like cannibalism going on within the animal. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is not normal.
Mm-hmm. And I think how many illnesses and stuff do we have as a population, you know, because of these poor practices.
Well, and the worst part about it is the way it's done is it's set up for losses, but it's a cause of its own losses.
Yes.
You know, you're going to get animals that die before, and you can't sell that. You know, so but then because there's so many and so much, how much meat is getting tossed? Because there aren't that many people buying it. I mean, people buy it, but they oversupply, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say veal is one that really freaks me out.
Yeah, I've never had veal, and for the ethical reasons, I can't think that I ever would. But
my Travis's parents had veal once, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, "What is this?" And then his dad told me, "Oh, it's baby cow," and I was like, what? I started crying. I was like, no. And I refused. They even eat duck and stuff. I refuse to eat duck because ducks are my favorite animals, second to cows. And I cannot stand eating a duck. Like, I just think of my future duck and his name is Steve.
It's not very good. It's really gamey.
My future duck and his name is Steve.
Yeah. Can't wait when we have a farm and I get to call little Steve over and just hang out with him or whatever. But I don't know. I've and I will say this has only been maybe a year and a half change of being outspoken about how animals are treated. It did not start off this whole vegetarian ride from, it was purely for my health. Health was just a a plus on the side. Now for me, it's okay, well, I'm healthy, but really it's for the animals, and sometimes I will fall off the wagon. I do say most of the time I consider myself a wannabe vegan because I do like cheese, like grilled cheese or mozzarella sticks and stuff. Oh my gosh, they're so good. But, then I get back on track and I'm like, well, no, you can't be doing that anymore. Every once in a while, maybe, but I just wish I could be that 150% vegan person that I want to be and that I aspire to be. It'll happen one day, but every now and then, So that's really, as you can see, that's another thing of mine that I really do like. And I'm still in school, just trying to get myself through school on a musician's salary and be vegan. It's very difficult. But
what are you studying in school?
So there's a couple things that I want to do. I'm just kind of finishing up one of my degrees, but I don't know. It's a little bit between theology, maybe, could do music. I've seen a lot of musicians who have gone to school for music in their choice of instrument and don't really do much after, in the real world, can't really find a good stable income. And I don't want that for myself. People make it happen, but the majority don't. And that's the sad part. So I kind of don't want that for myself either. So yeah, I mean, it's between teaching music, maybe. I'm doing music theory right now. I'm in music theory 3, I think. There's 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kicking my butt, but whatever.
I miss it. I took theory and stuff in college.
Did you?
Yeah, and I loved it. I don't do enough of it.
Hard.
It is. It's
very
hard.
hard.
It's challenging.
It's very challenging. It's like, I have to think in the mind of a musician now. Okay, let's do this. It's very hard.
But when you're writing all those cool backup harmonies, that really comes in handy.
It does come in handy, yeah.
The music theory is like a mashup of math and language arts.
It really is.
I mean,
It is.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay at
It's kind of like art and science meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the way
I'm good with math and
about it.
I'm good with English. But I don't do them together. I remember where my notes are. I remember some of like forte and all that shit.
Intervals?
Some of it. No, I never really did any of that. This was all high school band.
Mm. The thing that's really getting me right now is the inverse intervals. Just like remembering the
opposite of a major third is a minor sixth.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
That kind of thing. And it's not like that it's hard, but it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, you have to memorize all of this. And it's like, I don't remember what I had yesterday for lunch. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't. Okay, we'll see if this works. So
yeah.
Another weird thing is that like now all of my classes are online. So that's like I was doing pretty
hard.
well. Yeah, like music theory 1 is pretty easy for the most part. It's just like a rehash of fundamentals, and then you have like a good portion of it just being intervals, and then the rest is the hard stuff that leads you into music theory 2. And I had both of those in class. So I was sitting there front row, paying attention, asking questions, whatever. And now I have music theory 3, and it's like, oh, everything's online. Good luck.
Yeah.
Do I get my book while I'm taking tests? Like, I don't understand how this is going to work out, but we'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath for anything, but yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very long-winded question. I'm sorry. Very long-winded answer.
That's great. I want you to go on as much detail as you want to.
Yeah.
I've thought about just trying to find a good theory book and just start from the beginning, just on my own, with all my free time that I don't have.
Right.
And but just go in.
You remember that crack
lesson by
comment?
lesson. Yeah. Yeah. Because I actually took 5 semesters of music theory.
Wow.
Because here at the community college, I was in a class of, including myself, there's 3 people in the class.
Wow.
And so it was pretty cool. And almost every class, we'd have to write some assignments. We might have a bass line and have to write out the 4-part harmony for it. Or we might have a really melody and have to harmonize it. Or something. Or we might just have a chord progression and we'd have to write it out.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So, but it took 3 semesters. Our 4th semester here was more on the physics of sound.
Yes.
Rather than actually writing out stuff. But then I went to transfer to Pitt State, and I took their theory 4, and that was more like 20th century stuff, which was atonal kind of stuff.
Yes. Ugh.
And that was way hard, but pretty cool though too.
It's cool to learn it. Like I just did a music appreciation class, and this professor was cracking me up because it was a winter semester, so I just got done with it. And music appreciation is one of those like who cares classes, you know?
Yeah.
Just one of those like, okay, I need it for my degree, let's just get it done with. So I did it, and he would give you assignments left and right for this stupid class that only took like 10 minutes of your day.
So he cared.
Yeah.
He did care. It's not bad, but it's not fun either when you're the student. It was like, I don't know. We had to do a paper, like an in-depth on a piece of music that we wanted to do. So I did Songbird by Oasis. It's one of my favorite songs ever. And but you had to talk about like who the producer was, who the band is, what kind of lyrics they were, what did you think about the lyrics? I mean, it was just like, okay, any other music appreciation class wouldn't have this. And then you also had discussions every single day for 2 weeks straight. And then you had quizzes, exams. I mean, you just have like the whole, it was like, it really felt like a 16-week course in 2 weeks. Like he was not letting up at all.
Yeah. It was no joke.
No, it wasn't. So I was like, maybe this is the last time I'll take a winter semester class like this because I can't. This is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I liked learning about music appreciation and or the stuff in music appreciation, like the Gregorian chants and the Baroque period and the Renaissance periods as well. And like the music that was within those times and just like really, because I never really knew in depth about any of those things. And then then you read it and you're like, oh, this is really interesting. I had no idea. Right. So, I added more songs to my playlists and
yeah,
it's a good thing about it.
It is. It could be a really cool source of inspiration too, because how much do you find in popular music today, like throwbacks to madrigals from the Renaissance period?
Yes.
It could be a really cool kind of, if you kind of tap into that, it could really set you apart in some way. If you did it
the right way.
You'd have to modernize it and
But I think that would be really cool. Nobody's doing that. Nobody cares anymore unless you're like really into music. And even then, sometimes people who are really into music don't really know about that stuff, and it's really sad. I don't know. I just think that like schools should be teaching more about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Like people in choir.
Yeah. One thing that I wish that I would have taken classes on that I never did was stuff more about like, I don't even know how to put it, like compositional forms.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like theme and variation or, like canons or you know what I'm talking about? Like just formats basically for classical music.
Yeah. That one's
sonata form, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And really get into depth on how to do that and maybe like try to translate that bring that into a more modern way.
Totally. Yeah. That would be really cool. Yeah. It's just hard to find professors who would do it. I think that's the problem. We have like a lack of, at least where I go, there's like a lack of professors in that department.
Yeah. It's probably more of like an advanced composition classes.
Yeah.
Get into that stuff.
Yeah. I think so, probably.
I think I gave up my music degree too soon before I got all to that. But,
well, look on the bright side. You're still paying for what you did do.
Yeah, I know. And it's, well, maybe it, I was going to say it doesn't pay off, but maybe it does in some small way in our little band.
We're still doing it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Anyways, I like to talk music with someone that's gone through all that stuff too. So
yeah. It's
cool.
Yeah. I as much as of a pain in what it is, I do love music theory. It's one of those classes that I'm like, I cannot, like, no, you're not going to make me wait another semester to take the next music theory class. I'm taking it now and everyone will just have to deal with it. I don't care if it's an extra $200-$300. I'm going to make it happen.
Well, you want to do stuff like that when it's fresh too.
Yes.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to take a year off and then go theory 2 or,
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I need a refresher on theory 1.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I haven't used it. Yeah.
In forever. And what's really sad is that when I was in music theory 1, COVID hit. So I was in class for a little bit. No, I guess it was music theory 2. Yeah, it was music theory 2. And I was in class for half the semester, and then they made everyone else go online. So we were still doing Zoom meetings, and she was taking questions, and she would show them on the board and everything. But this one is all online. He's not doing any like Zoom meetings or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it is. I'm just thankful I kept doing what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Crazy times.
So Are there any particular places that people can follow you?
I'm on Instagram at official Nyssa or Nyssa official, whichever of the two.
I think it's official Nyssa.
I think it's official Nyssa too.
I'll be sure and link it.
And then Facebook for sure. It's at Nyssa Garcia Music. And then Twitter, if you guys still use that one's at official Nyssa as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
I'm on Spotify and YouTube and all that. Just look up Nyssa Garcia and you'll see my face. And there's more like stuff coming out soon. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So we can't tell anybody when this stuff's coming out yet.
No, not yet. But the hopefully the announcement will be soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are rumors of a music video.
Yes.
Well, and
Soon.
yeah, if you follow us, we'll definitely let you know about it. But for sure, go ahead and follow Nyssa on all those platforms.
Absolutely.
And you will definitely be in the loop.
Firsthand
Yeah.
announcements.
Oh, yeah.
All that good stuff. Love it.
Kick ass.
Yes. Well, we got one more thing that we need you to do.
Okay.
We're going to start something new this year. And we kind of kicked ourselves in the ass because we didn't think of it sooner. But we are going to have you sign the table.
Oh, fun.
You get to be the first one.
I get to be the first one. I love it. Save the best for first.
Yeah, absolutely. We had to wait a whole year just so you could get here.
I'm just kidding. Okay, I can just sign anywhere?
Yeah, I think
Like up here?
probably start on the outer edge and
want me to,
over the years we'll work our way
Do
in.
you want me to sign it, or do you want me to just write my name nice and neatly and then sign?
However you want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to
We
you.
got a big canvas right
I won't
here.
be like, I was kind of kidding, but not really. See, kind of, yes, but not really.
Yeah. And then go ahead and put 1/14/21. That's when it was recorded. Not sure when this will come out. Probably next week after, something like that.
Cool. Is that big? I didn't mean to write it so big.
No,
That's
that's
great.
good. We got a whole table to fill up.
Okay,
That's good.
I will tell one last story and then
Please.
so we can go. But we were at a wedding recently and it was like sign the big picture or whatever. And so I write, we love you. We hope you have a great, a happy marriage or whatever. And then the mom of the groom came up and she goes, "Who wrote that? That's so big." And I was like, "I wrote it. I'm sorry." I just have really big handwriting. Like, I get very like, "Oh no." So that's why I asked. But
No, that's great.
fun stuff.
First
Say,
one.
I did it. Deal with it.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Whose wedding
I take
is this?
offense to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whose wedding is this?
Yeah. Who's the star? Who's the star here?
Hello.
You need to get your diva attitude going.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can get that out pretty quickly.
I guess if you were to do it properly in these times, it'd be like, who wrote this? Me, bitch.
Well, she was the
Snickers. There we
Snickers.
go.
Now that I wrote that, I remember.
You're
that
not
one.
you when you're hungry.
I'm not me when I'm hungry.
Well, Nyssa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
this
for
evening.
having me. It
Had a
was fun.
Yeah, very great time with you.
Yeah.
Again, make sure to follow Nyssa. If you haven't yet, please subscribe on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and give us a review. Click the little bell icon to be notified. And thanks for joining us.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, be well.